We're live. All right. Welcome, fellow travelers. It is whiskey and or wine and or whatever.
It's
Wednesday.
Let's drink because we're all in quarantine together.
That's right. And as much as we love each other and all the people that we're spending our days with, I know we all like to have a little bit of alone time or talk with some other adult time or just some way to socialize to keep our sanity. Brian, you can watch that while you live stream. It's totally fine. I like the multitask. It's like my students. Some professors get upset when the students are got their phones and they got their computers and stuff like that. I'm like, look, these students have been doing these things since they were little kids. They had 5 activities on Mondays when they were little, so it's totally fine. So you do you, Brian, not a problem. Mr. Means to Travel, good to see y'all up there, our Chicago friends.
But Brian, it's not the best. It was Brian that was watching Sex in the City too. It's just not as good as the show.
Yeah, no, it didn't make sense. They should have been in New York.
They left out the city. I mean, it's in the title.
Brig says hi. He's being super needy today.
He's very
needy
today.
I don't know what's going on.
Might be part of why we're drinking.
Yes, because it's anytime you walk by your shoes, he's like, oh, we're going for a walk. I'm like, dude, your leg is busted, buddy. You can't do that right now, okay? You'll be fine.
Hi, Nick. Hi, Joseph. Hi, Carmen. Nice to see you.
Brig, climb.
Gosh.
Go down. Good boy.
We will ignore your name, and I won't say it out loud.
Yeah.
Yes. Canada.
Hey, Elwood. I'm glad we can try to make make the best of this situation. Hey, Henry Martinez. Hope you're doing okay, buddy. Yeah, April. Our trip in June isn't going to happen either to Italy, and our May stuff's gone.
I'm surprised they're not letting you reschedule because most people have been really good. It said, only reschedule.
Yeah.
You know what?
The reason why they can do that is because it's not canceled yet because there's not official anything.
You're not that close.
Yeah.
If you waited later, they may let you. They may let you do that. Ready?
We have something to say. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Terry. Happy birthday to you.
And
many more. So that was our good friends, Terry Finley, who has her birthday today. And they're having margaritas and enchiladas. You lucky dogs. That's the best birthday you could have in a quarantine, if you ask me. Hey, Beth Leopard Rock Rules. Megan in Kentucky. Hope you're doing well. Henrietta, you're up late tonight. What are you doing? Karen in Toronto. Yeah, Henrietta. She's up late.
I was saying Henry. And then you were saying Henrietta. I was like, what are you doing?
Oh, hey, Hawkeye channel. So if you all want to check out, I just posted on our Facebook and our Twitter feed. I did actually a podcast with Hawkeye. Travel with Hawkeye, if you want to look at his podcast. And he's down in Dallas. And we talked kind of some of the futures of travel kind of stuff. So if you want to check it out, we got the links in there. So do check it out. He's a good dude. We have a good time chatting. I've been on his podcast a couple times and we've had some good times.
Brian, it does not produce explosive diarrhea. Although there is some controversy about whether it may or may not cause some in 4 to 5% of the people or something like that.
Yes. So we hope everyone enjoyed. If you haven't watched it yet, I mean, you can hop off this and do watch the book. We put out the do's and don'ts of quarantines today to help people know what they should do and shouldn't do during this. Because we felt today was a day you could have some fun with this, but also be serious with it. So we'd really try to do a good job. And the feedback's been really, really great, but the word's not getting out to a lot of people about the importance of what you should do and not do in these quarantines. So if you can go and share the don'ts of quarantines on your social media, I think it can make a big difference because a lot of people are like, oh, I didn't know that. It's giving it in more of a human perspective versus in the, doctor speak kind of stuff. So... Newcomes, glad you made it back to Chicago from Europe. Paul Hayes, thanks, man, for the super chat. For us, these live feeds have really been a lifesaver just to get a chance to talk to other people and talk about other stuff because, if you live with people for so long, we know all the stories. We've had the stories happen to us together, and this way we can bring other people's stuff in so we can talk about some other things. So Brian likes your earrings, by the way.
Oh, thank you. My mother gave me these.
Hey, Andrew.
For my 30th birthday. But I'm not 30 yet. I'm
right,
so 30.
Keep celebrating it. That's right.
Hello in Greece and hello in Hungary. It is nice to see all of you here joining us.
One Botero, because you guys had the best vacation in Italy 2 years ago. I'm glad we could help out. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Oh, Elwood, as a native of Lynchburg, Tennessee, what are you having tonight? Well, I have a bottle of something that would help out your community, but since we started this bottle, I need to make sure I finish this one. We finish this one first, and then we'll move on to something from Lynchburg, Tennessee, to help out your local economy. See, we're trying to help out, my friend.
I tell you what, I'm a big fan of Jack Daniels. I have been a Jack Daniels girl for a really long time. Many moons. What is wrong with you today, puppy? Come on. What is it?
I know our dog has been very. He's enjoyed the fact that we're all here, and the thing is, he's got a bad front leg.
Because he keeps standing in front of us.
Yeah, he kept standing in front of us when we walk by. No, so he's trying to still live like a puppy, but he's about 6 now, and he's trying to live. I think he's having a midlife crisis because now he's bringing he's got the big balls to throw around. He doesn't have balls, but he's got big balls. Well, he's got balls. It's a big ball. It's a big throwing ball.
You.
So there's that.
Oh,
Jimmy UK, glad you're still awake, buddy.
Hi, Jimmy.
Hope you're doing okay.
Hello,
Miguel and Inside Lawrence Brandon, California. Good to see you all. Brian Boy Mark told me you were 24. That's right.
That's right. I am. I'm 24.
Thanks, man. I owe you one. Adam G, thank you very much for the super chat, man. That is really nice. Send out a question or a topic you'd like to talk about. Yes, dude, you really got to get a different name for that that thing you have. So once again, ignore the name. Is it irresponsible to plan a trip from New Mexico to Denver in the summer? It's too early to really say. I think what you'll see in terms of travel in the U.S. and around the world, if things do open up to travel, most of it will be just domestic stuff because we don't know how things are going to evolve in different places. We need to take him upstairs.
Yeah, I will in just a second.
So what you'll see, I think what you'll see is there'll be more like localized travel. You'll see more staycation kind of stuff. People want to stay near home. They won't want to be gone for that 2-week window in case I'm getting sick. I want to make sure I'm back home with my doctor and my stuff. So you're going to have that. And so that's one thing. I think you'll see more of the stay thing. So if you're going from New Mexico to Colorado, I mean, if you're looking late in the summer, you never know. I mean, that's just saying no one knows, and that's where a lot of people are really kind of not sure what to do because now the U.S. we've now pushed everything back. Now it's the 30th of April, and most likely I'm sure that'll get pushed back till sometime in May. So it's kind of I don't know what is coming next, and I think that's what's holding a lot of people back from not sure if they should plan or if they should look at travel, what they should do. And then also there's the monetary side. So there's a lot of different stuff out there. So
hello, Kathy Wolters.
And please get a new account. You can change your name. You know that, right? So just change your name. Okay. Tristan, we only have one dog, and that's all we can really handle.
We can't afford another dog.
Yeah, he's too big. Let's see.
Life of a Weary Traveler. Hello in San Antonio. Jordan says Austrian Air just did a repatriation flight from Austria to Australia. Repatriation. I can't say that word. Repatriation.
Compromised.
I can't say that word either.
I know.
I didn't think I would see that. Why?
Well, I think what you're seeing is you're going to see a lot of repatriation flights because that's all they're really going to have because they're not allowing non-citizens to come back and fly through places. What I worry about are those people if you're from Brazil or no, let's say you're from Paraguay and you want to get back home to Paraguay, there's no direct flights. So it's wait, I can't, if Spain isn't letting people in and my flight's through Spain, can I get back? And because then I have to go to Brazil and fly over. And I think that's where I worry because there is a lot of stories of people that are stuck in different places around the world. And some people are choosing that, hey, I'd rather,
pull up where I am rather than go somewhere.
Yeah.
Which I totally get. I mean, if we were in Europe right now,
we'd be stuck there. It wouldn't really matter.
But I would be fine as long as I could be in an apartment rather than a hotel because we did live in a hotel in China for 7 weeks. And
it was not.
Let me tell you about how much we all loved each other because that hotel room was the size of a postage stamp. It had 2 twin beds for the 4 of us. It was awful. That's all there is to it. It was just terrible. But anyway.
So there was one of you. They're glad we're here to entertain. I'm glad we can be here to entertain. And Sofer, thank you very much for the super chat. Thanks to the great videos, always. Love the company. Any recommendation for cultural food for a new cook and or red wine? So,
Well, hang on. I'm drinking this. Can you see that? I don't know.
Red blend Portugal.
It's a red blend from Portugal. It's pretty good. Casa Santos Lima. And I got it because I liked this is very traditionally Portuguese, and it made me feel like I was in my old home.
Yeah, and it's funny
because it's good.
Yeah, it's funny because sometimes you'll see like Portuguese wines or Italian wines, and they'll have like a super modern label, and you're like, that doesn't feel right. I don't know about that. Yeah, but one thing. Oh, sorry.
I have some ideas for food.
Okay.
There's tons of stuff. I actually just posted one recently on, where did I do that? It was on my Instagram. If you kind of scroll through there, there's like tasting spoons full of chocolate. But you know what? It is a great thing to do. Just Google simple recipes from country X and see what you come up with. So, just start with the simple stuff before it gets crazy, because it is difficult to get funky ingredients right now.
Yeah. Or you can be like us and searching through your pantry and finding things that are quite interesting. My mom would have been so proud. I found a thing of red beans and rice that expired in 2016, which means it was made probably in 2015 or 14, because it's red beans and dry beans and rice. So that must have come from our old house.
But I did not buy that, because I just make the red beans and rice straight up. There's no need for the Zatarain's.
I know. You are so special.
Good. Okay.
Brenda, thank you very much for the super chat, my friend.
Thanks.
It really means a lot. We really appreciate it. That is so nice of you. Oh, Def Leppard Rules Rock, our buddy, another super chat. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Hawaii in August and Barcelona in August. Should I cancel now or wait on that? The way Sweden has been handling this has me worried about going to Europe. So there's a lot of stuff going on. Like Spain is getting hit really hard right now. And I know a lot of the news is just talking about Italy, but a lot of places are, just like here in the U.S. Just leave it there for a sec. And so one thing you have to realize is things that are going to be available in August, we don't know yet. We don't know how things are going to be. Maybe it'll be okay. Maybe we won't. But the thing is, since it's August, your airline's not going to give you much of a discount or any help. Because look, that's so far off. We don't know what's going to happen. So they might let you rebook till later, but they're not going to give you probably not going to give you a refund. So don't expect that. So you can talk to them and see what they recommend. But most of the times they say wait till it gets closer. I know for us, I still haven't canceled our flight for May because we're not 2 weeks out for it. When we are, then we'll talk to them and reschedule for some other things like that. So do have a heads up. Hawaii, it might be a little bit different. If you're in the U.S., then domestic flight might be different then. I would assume by then, hopefully it would be different. So just one of those things you kind of think about. So hope that helped out.
Ben,
we have a new member. We have a new member. Hey. Wild Bap 28. Welcome helpful traveler. That is super awesome.
We will be having a members and patrons live chat rather soon.
Yes. So you'll see it. So what'll happen is on the YouTube, our community tab, things will pop up on there that'll talk about that, and we can send, because it lets me post just to the members so they can see it on there. So it'll pop up on there. But most likely we'll have one. We either have it this Friday or this Sunday.
I don't know if
we haven't nailed that yet, but there'll be one this weekend.
I need to look at my very busy schedule. Okay?
I know.
I got a lot of places to be.
We've gotten the basement completely clean. We've
got
the garage completely
bedroom,
clean.
the living room, the kitchen.
Room's clean. Yeah.
That's pretty much where I'm at.
Hey,
this room is not clean. Look at all your scata Meridian up here.
Hey, they're helping me film.
Oh Lord.
So anyway, Wild Bab, thank you very much for the super chat as well. Going to take a belated honeymoon. Awesome. It took us about 10 years to get our honeymoon. When you say a place is cheap, what are you averaging that price about? Would be from Chicago to Malta. It wouldn't be for a while. Thanks. Okay, so when we think about if you're in Chicago, when we say expensive, we're probably talking Chicago prices or a little bit more, because we put Chicago, New York, because New York's a little bit more than Chicago. I mean, for us, New York is expensive. Chicago can be pricey, but you can get good deals there. If I was looking to go to Malta, Malta will be a deal for you compared to going out in Chicago, for sure. So if you're looking to go there, you'll be fine. So think about if you're going to do a weekend in the city, you probably would spend more money on parking in the city, than you would doing stuff in Malta. So you'd be okay there. Someone else was asking about honeymoon travel, and they were asking about what was it? Destination weddings. I do not have a video on destination weddings. But one thing I tell my students about is when you do the destination wedding, realize that a lot of people are using their vacation time and their money to get down there, so that sometimes, like, don't be upset if people can't come to it, especially now when there's going to be so many people hurting for financial stuff. So do be careful with that. But with destination wedding, if you're going to pick a place, make sure it has stuff that's for all ages, not just like, hey, we're in our 20s or 30s, we're getting married, so we're focused on that. Remember, because some people bring their families with them, or you're going to have your parents or grandparents there. So have a destination that has multiple options, also multiple flights coming in, so not everyone's kind of stuck on the same flight, or the kind of thing there that also going to mitigate the price because it gives more competition for the flights in. So.
Hi, Amber. Oh my gosh. Do you know who Amber is? Amber's from Savannah. She used to bartend with me at the Pirate's House, Amber and Craig.
Sure.
I don't know if you've
I've never met them.
Well, there you go. I'm glad you're here, dear. I'm just having wine, not one of those funky drinks we were talking about earlier. Welcome, Mr. Means to Travel, and I'm assuming that
the Mrs. is there.
To travel.
So Mr. I made you a moderator, so if you help out, we appreciate it. Or should I get the Mrs. Means to Travel? I'll let one of them decide. But I thought, because you guys are always on being so helpful.
I love that you guys are having conversations back and forth as this is going on, because there's a lot of stuff happening right now, and I just wanted to say thanks.
Yeah.
Is that a member button? Did somebody else just join too?
Oh.
Did we just get another?
We get another member?
I think
oh wait,
so.
because it doesn't. Oh, we're stuck.
It didn't show.
Oh, Nick Peterson. Nick Peterson. I thought you were a member, my friend. Good to see you. Thank you very much for becoming a member, buddy.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.
Jinx. Say,
I guess
that's
so.
my name.
So thank you, Nick. And Mark, I hope Terry heard us sing, buddy.
Oh,
if not, happy birthday, Terry.
No, she said something. Thanks, guys. At some point, I saw that come up.
So Faisal, yes, we are staying safe. We're doing our best.
We're staying at home.
We're staying at home. It's at home, and home. And we go on walks around the neighborhood with the dog many times.
Mark is losing his mind. He's like, Mark doesn't sit still very much. And so he'll just be working away, and then all of a sudden he'll just be like, I gotta go for a walk.
Yeah.
Like I gotta get out of here right now. And I'm like, see you, dude.
Because we're trying to do the stuff, make sure we have the blogs up and doing that. So for those of you who don't know, we're putting out new blogs every single day. Some are about the quarantine, what we're doing, some travel blogs and things like that. So people can have some non-virus things out there. And then we're moving out to 3 travel videos, because now in April, we want to give travel stuff out there. So people have something that's not just virus all the time to watch. So we've got, we put out the do's and don'ts of quarantine. So please share that. If you see that, do share it on social media so we get more information out there that actually is going to help people. That's not like over doctory or over Facebook crazy, like making no sense stuff. And then I'm teaching all my classes online now, and I'm also
from our kitchen.
From our kitchen this week, and also I'm having to make a new class, which was going to be face to face. Now it's all online, so I have to film all that. So I'm writing a textbook as well, and it's just been nuts. So we appreciate you all being so supportive and everything. So thank you for that.
Paul Hayes says, my airline has been super great for rescheduling for Florida in September as opposed to this week. I feel rescheduling is better than a refund as it helps the airline. I don't know, to be sure. We agree. Rescheduling is always going to be better for the airline. And you know what, for you too, because sometimes even if they're being kind and letting you take stuff back, there's still sometimes fees and stuff attached to that. Although most things have been waived by most airlines, it's still a good idea. Oh, Carmen got married in Las Vegas.
See,
dude, that's cool.
Pretty cool.
I love it.
Tommy, holding on to my September tickets to Germany. Cool, but still hoping to get to Bamberg and other places around for a few weeks. Hope springs eternal. That's right. That's what we have to have now. You got to stay positive, be positive. It's a tough time for us all, and we just try to be together for this. Yeah.
Yep. Byron asks, what was one of your favorite hotel experiences?
I think some of my worst ones were the
favorite, dude.
Oh, sorry.
Favorite. That doesn't.
But people like the worst ones better when you talk about the toilet in Ecuador, in Quito, where was like, you can tell it overflowed with poo before, and so the entire thing was caked and hardened underneath it like a shell.
And I was
and Jocelyn
sick,
was super sick.
So I refused to go in the bathroom and made Mark go out and get me extra trash bags so I could vomit in in a trash can because I wouldn't go in the bathroom.
See, Mom, all those Spanish classes paid off right there, so I can go and get trash bags for my wife at like 2:00 in the morning in Quito. So hey.
Oh my gosh, it was terrible. But you know what? Every other experience in Ecuador was awesome, and everything else was clean.
Like seriously, that was the only bad thing in the whole
One
trip.
of my favorite ones was the place. Well, you know what?
Hold on, we gotta say hi, Eric Pelkey's mom. I'm sorry you're not getting into Wolters World. Hope you will.
Oh dang!
Move on.
Okay, so the places that we stayed throughout Rwanda and Tanzania were shocking to me.
Those were
like they
shockingly good.
Shockingly good, yeah.
Amazing.
I mean, like. Just the service and the thoughtfulness with which you were treated was just amazing. They were on point with everything. So yeah. Oh, hey, there's a good one, Karen Mack.
Karen Mack, do you guys have any favorite travel related movies?
It's coming, sister.
It's coming. We're filming that one because we're rewatching to give some highlights. Because the thing is, I know there's a lot of YouTube channels out there that will actually like put up clips from movies to show. I'm always very worried about the copyright infringement kind of stuff. So what you'll get is like, here's what we recommend. And we actually have our list for the 10 best travel comedies, 10 movies that are going to help you love travel more, and then 10 travel videos to help inspire your kids to want to travel. So we've got the stuff. So that's part of those things coming in April.
We're on that. We got to get that stuff going out here for you guys soon.
But never forget Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. And European Vacation, those are classics.
I'm relaxing with a box of Giordano's right now after an 8-hour-long remote work day.
Oh, that's brutal.
Any channels or series that you're watching during the pandemic?
No.
Not for me.
I'm surprised.
No,
you're watching Father Brown with Liam.
Well, Liam and I always watch Father Brown. That's what we do. We like English murder mystery shows, and they took off Midsummer Murders. So boo Netflix, bring me back my Midsummer Murders, please.
Yeah, no, for me, Liam and I are still with our usual SciShow space.
Well, I watch those two with you guys.
You're almost kind of forced to because the TV's right there.
Whatever.
So we do that. So those are the ones that we've been watching a lot. So yeah, that's what we're trying to.
Stefan, did I tell you that his mom commented on last week's?
Oh yeah, so one of the people that was one of the SciShow presenters and producers, his mom was on here last time, so she's here hi, and so Liam was pretty pumped, and I'm like, yeah, that guy right there.
Well, I know as soon as I said, he was like, no way. Like, I mean, he was so excited about that, like just made his day. He's like, oh. And Jimmy is having sticky toffee pudding. I bet your mother is selling.
Well, he and my mom are going back and forth about sticky toffee.
Okay.
So just so you know, my mom and I, we were in Scotland last year for about, a week, 10 days? And we had sticky toffee pudding every single day because we had to test to see who had the best sticky toffee pudding. And being the good son that I am, Mom, wouldn't you agree? I was being the good son, and I was having that sticky toffee pudding with you every single meal.
Hola,
Smiley, hola, and Lisboa. I hope you're doing okay. I hope everything's going well there. Gallivanting Gals, did you get the video I sent you?
Yes, he did that yesterday, ladies.
Yeah, I sent that to them so they have their thing out. So send me the link so I can share your video.
Knowing the flights and places to stay may be the most in a budget. Where would you recommend one travel once this is over with a very limited budget? So, staying close to home is probably the easiest thing. That's always the easiest thing. But if you want to go abroad, like if you want to go to Central and South America, those places, generally speaking, are pretty inexpensive for
Costa Rica's a bit
things.
More, but like
Coast
Nicaragua,
is kind of expensive.
Panama are easier on the pocket.
Nika is one of my favorite places.
Northern South America, actually, a lot of times with Northern South America, it's actually relatively cheap to get there versus Southern South America, like Brazil, Argentina, Chile. So you can get, for the price of flying out to LA from the Midwest or the East Coast, you can get to, Cartagena or Bogota, Panama City, stuff like that. So there's those. But I agree with Jocelyn. You're going to have, I would say, look for more staycation kind of things so you can base back, or maybe what you do if you have, like, let's say you still have your week-long vacation. Well, who knew that Glenlivet makes you burp? Okay. No, now you made me lost my train of thought.
You have a train of thought?
Thank you all for being there when I get in with the person. No, but one thing you look at for that, if you have that week home, what I might do is like Friday after work, if we're back at work and stuff like that, maybe that Friday go for a weekend in one of a city nearby, spend the weekend there, and then you come back and then you stay home for a couple of days, do some stuff around the house, and then go for another weekend. Kind of break that up to kind of save some money that way. But it's going to be tough because a lot of people are going to need to do the budget kind of things. I know with us, like how our stuff's been. I mean, it's like, look, we got to really be thinking about what's going to be the biggest bang for the buck kind of stuff. And so,
and what things are we going to cut out of our life? I mean, there are going to be things that are going to change for us.
Yeah, and so like we've already gone through like subscription services and stuff like that. There's little things
like
here and there.
Little things. We're cutting the little things first, and
because we have to see how long this goes. Because if this goes for 3 or 4 months, I mean, there's a lot of stuff you got to do. It's only a month or two, then it's different. But if it's like, oh, this could go on and off for a year.
If this is like 6-8 months or whatever, I mean, we have a lot to think about. The reason I did this, darling, is because time for a kiss is on.
Thanks. Only love I get these days.
Like the idea of traveling more than actually traveling because it can be exhausting. Thoughts? Oh,
it can be. Thoughts. All I know is I would travel all the time if I could just teleport to that destination versus the whole travel thing, because it's just brutal some days. Because a lot of times we'll fly out of here at like 6 a.m. to go to Atlanta and then fly to Europe or fly to South America or wherever.
Or Africa or Asia.
But the thing is, the 6 a.m. flight for us, it's a 45-minute drive. And luckily it's a small airport. Love it. It's great. EMI.
There are people.
Central Illinois Regional Airport. Thank you. You got to give them a shout out. And so that means though we got to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, take a shower, get all the kids up, get those things there. Then we get on the road like 4:30, 4:15. Get there at 5, check our stuff in, then go through because it's a small airport. So it's
shut up.
3 minutes to go through.
You're making me tired.
I know, because I'm like 3 a.m. Oh my gosh, it's brutal.
Because I spent the whole night before packing because, I mean, half of our stuff is always packed, quite frankly. Like, I never unpack. I have like our toiletry kit. We have toothpaste and toothbrushes and things, like all that stuff. It stays in there all the time. I never take it out. It just stays there. So anyway, it's just, I don't know. It's a lot that happens the day before because I'm a procrastinator, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I have my stuff packed a few days early. Like, I'm like...
But I might want to wear some of the things I want to take the day or two before. And,
I know, you are fashion. No one has accused me of dressing well.
Yeah.
So it's jumping around on us for those of you out there. Like, it's freezing. Yep. Like, this thing on our screen is freezing and then jumping and freezing. So I'm trying to scroll back to see what we're doing.
Ryan,
drinking some Glenlivet right now. Someone asked.
Brian said, I'm surprised your numbers have gone down so far. I mean, you don't have
people
at work watching or people going everywhere, but I'm surprised people aren't wanting to travel and watch your videos. Well,
yeah, no, I mean, we're down, I think it was 80, it's 80, like this last 2 weeks versus last year this time, we're down over 80%. Right around 80% viewership.
I think part of it is that we're a preparation channel and people aren't preparing right now.
Yeah. If we were doing the backflips and stuff and we were showing like, here's us traveling, like explore with us, like the vlog stuff kind of things, I think we'd probably be doing at least having some viewers still. But hey, we appreciate your views and that's what matters. And we know people eventually start traveling again and they're going to need to be, ready and they're going to need help. And I'm glad our videos and our blogs are going to be out there to help people. So though it's a very, very bad time for Wolters World right now, I think in terms of that side of it, I think we're actually doing some really great stuff with being here, doing things like these live feeds and stuff like that for you and for us, so we can have some community here because these are the highlights of our weeks, man. These are the highlights of our weeks is like to do stuff like that because look at her. She wants to hurt me. Help me. It's like crying for help.
It's not that bad.
Just kidding. It's not that bad.
Although there was a moment where we were playing basketball with the kids today. And there was a moment when I was going to slap you. But I didn't. I just squeezed that basketball really hard instead.
I was playing some D on you.
That is not called D. That is called, like, handsy husband.
We switched to pig. You won. She smoked me.
I won.
She smoked me.
I always win.
So Rory's pointing out how Aer Lingus is great helping out his move our April vacation to August, no hassles whatsoever. And that's what's nice. These airlines have been doing a really good job. Not every airline, but a lot of them have. So that's really nice to hear. So Amit was asking how the lecture recording go. You can actually watch it if you look at strategic selling on our Professor Wolters channel. You'll see the live thing there. And one person up there, when it jumped around, I was reading. Someone had watched our video on transitioning your class from face to face to online.
Saw that too.
And I'm glad I could help. I'm glad. Thank you for sharing that, because I'm trying to get that to a lot of people, because making an online class is very different than transitioning in 1 week from a face-to-face to online. Like, you can't expect it to be the same. And I think a lot of parents need to realize that too. With all these changes, like schools are going from face-to-face class to now we're online with Google Classroom or something like that.
And you have these really insane teachers now all of a sudden. I mean, think about it. Liam's teacher is like, she's amazing. Like, she is just such a good teacher. I respect the holy heck out of her. But now he's got us.
And we're not as good. We're nowhere near as good as her. So we're like
night and day.
So now I can see in the future. This is why I didn't get into a big school, because you guys are horrible third grade teachers.
I didn't get into Cambridge because you sucked.
And poor Caleb was in 7th grade, and like he's got his math stuff, and I got to get the Khan Academy videos. Like, we were working on translating points and stuff like that. So I got out my whiteboard, and we're doing all kinds of stuff trying to help him out. But he's getting there. It's just tough. It's just tough for a lot of people. But that's why I think parents need to have grace for the teachers, but also with their kids in their homeschooling, and the kids need to have grace with the parents, and then the teachers need to have grace.
We all just need
and
to look at one another with loving, kind eyes and shut the heck up.
Yeah.
Right? Hey, wait. Lori Sims makes a really good point.
Oh, Lori
Yep.
Hey, Lori.
I find I can travel to Europe for less money than the U.S.
Yes.
We agree. The flights, if you get a flight for a decent price, and sometimes, quite frankly, you can get a flight from Atlanta to London or Dublin or Paris for $500, and you can't even fly from Chicago to LA for that.
We got for $450. We have tickets for this fall. And it was $450 from our regional airport to Atlanta, then to Dublin. And I'm like, oh my gosh, because I wanted to go to LA for a conference, and I'm like, oh, it's $500. I'm like, wait. It's more expensive to go to LA.
To go to Dublin.
$450 to go to Dublin. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm sure LA's nice, but it's not.
And I have to say that U.S. hotels cost more. You get more, generally speaking.
Yeah.
Because you get 2 double beds and what a standard room looks like in the U.S. And you don't necessarily get that much, like the 2 big double beds and all of that in Europe, but you don't pay you pay half that. Often.
Yeah, I mean think about it. You stop at a Holiday Inn or like Quinta or something like that. You're spending $100 to $150 easy. Whereas in Europe you can find a nice hotel for $70. And I think, and the thing is you have to think in this perspective. I am not using this hotel as my life. This hotel is for me to sleep in. Because in Europe, when you go, you're doing stuff all day long and doing stuff like that. In the U.S., you do it too. But it's kind of like, I don't know how to say it. It's like, I don't focus much on my hotel time, all my time in the hotel.
Yeah, y'all don't spend your money on the hotel.
Yeah, I mean, but there are people that their whole thing is like, look, I want to stay in the nicest hotel. I want to do these things, which is fine. But there's a way, like, this is one of the things why we can travel so much, because we make these choices. We're not staying at the high end and the nice, and we're like middle class to lower middle class hotels, because we know that, look, whether we're in Rome, or lower, or in Brazil or whatever, we will find the deals, and we're like, look, if we save that $100 in our hotel,
and it's safe, I don't care. Yeah. That's all I need.
Because if you think about it, if you just the accommodation you pick,
I go there to lie my head down and to stash my suitcase.
I'm trying to save my sentence.
What?
Go on. Finish whatever you were saying, because I wasn't talking.
Shut up.
Anyway, that's why when you if you think about where you stay, if you can save $100 a night, because really you can in certain locations. I can see you trying to do that to me. Get the hell away from me. You can go and you can save $100 a night, a week. That's $700. There's your plane ticket right there. That could give you another 4 or 5 days of travel, maybe. So these kind of things make a big difference. Anyway, moving on. Yes, Mark Finley, it is a special occasion. You're allowed to have enchiladas and margaritas because it's her special day.
I think that was really cool that y'all went and did that too.
And what they did is they went and went to their local place they really loved. They would have loved to have been there for Terry's birthday and eat at the Mexican restaurant, but they did go and support him. That is awesome. So make sure you do try.
Ooh, Kevin was studying architecture in Florence for a semester before everything went down. I definitely caught the travel bug and went to head to Japan next. Any locations check out for the architecture. Okay, Kevin. So as an architecture lover, also, so modern architecture, Tokyo. I mean, Tokyo is just incredible. I mean, it was really, really cool. But for me, my love is historic architecture, and Kyoto like kicked everybody's butt. It was just amazing.
17 UNESCO World Heritage Sites there too.
It like I soaked everybody the architecture up. So like as far as like places to base yourself, definitely spend some time in both of those cities. And then you know what? Get out, see some of the vernacular architecture, and see how you feel about that kind of stuff. So okay. Oh, great to catch you guys live. I'm just having some lunch in Melbourne. Looking forward to seeing your uploads when you get back on the road. Thanks for these chat sessions. Anna, you're welcome. There will be more uploads when we're not on the road because we film so many videos. Like Mark will make, I don't know how many videos, like a stupid number of videos. And we've got.
I have enough videos to make sure there's new content.
You will have new stuff for a year. Yeah, no problems.
So, Henry Martinez, thank you very much for the super chat, buddy. Mark, any funny stories you can tell us briefly when you stayed at hostels? How often did people hook up in your dorm? Yeah, someone was talking about they were at a hotel in Amsterdam. They could hear the people hooking up and everybody in the elevator was laughing because they were getting on. That's actually happened when I was in South America a lot, when you'd stay at like the 50-cent hostels and stuff like that. That was quite common to hear people.
And there's a reason I never stayed in a hostel.
Yeah, so, but I think hostels are fun and... Not for that reason. Hostels were fun because you always got to meet other travelers and stuff like that. Especially if you're like a solo traveler. A lot of times I actually do recommend hostels because then you can at least meet like a travel buddy for the day to make it a little bit safer for you. But do be careful because
unless they're weirdos.
Yeah, unless they're weirdos. And actually some scam artists have started to use that as a way to get in. They will actually stay at the hostel and rob like stuff that way. So make sure you always have a lock to lock your stuff. So there's that. So thanks for the super chat, buddy.
All right.
F Cisco 1. Thank you very much for the super chat, my friend. Hey there, in which order should I visit all 5 Nordic countries? Which 2 cities per country do I visit, in what order? That's a lot of different questions.
No.
So if you're talking about Nordic countries, are we talking Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Finland?
That's what I would call the Nordics.
Iceland?
Oh, I'd throw Iceland in there.
Do we agree?
I mean...
Or do we go Faroe Islands?
No, let's just go with those.
So I would say if for a solo vacation, just hitting one spot up, you want to go to Iceland, but you can't do a 2-city thing in Iceland. That's more of a nature thing. So if you're going to be going down there, I would probably go hit up Sweden for Stockholm and Gothenburg, and then you're right there in Gothenburg. Then take the train over to Oslo, hit up Oslo and Bergen, then fly down to Copenhagen. Copenhagen is cool, and you can go into the other parts of the country to see some other stuff. Then you're going to be heading over to, if you get up to Finland then. Helsinki, everyone likes, you got to go there because that's the way to get in. But I actually recommend going to a place like Turku, or maybe go to some place up in the Lake District by Tampere and go sit in the sauna and go roll in the snow if you can and stuff like that. So it's so nice. Natasha, I am so glad you love our channel. That is so nice of you. Thank you.
Larry says Americans' expectations with regard to lodgings is much different than Europeans. Those expectations cost more money. We absolutely agree, and our expectations are much more like Europeans. We are very happy to have, if there's a shower in the room, I'm happy. I don't need much more than that.
I'm glad when there's a shower in the room for you too.
He's such an ass.
Language? We're a family channel. Oh, that's right. Oh, the donkey over there. Oh, you saw the donkeys going by. It's like squirrel, donkeys.
That's it.
Because we live in Illinois. It's all farmland.
There's tons of donkeys here.
Yes.
So you're absolutely right. Americans have very different expectations. And it's because hotels in the U.S. it's always the same thing. Unless you're paying buku bucks. It doesn't matter if you're paying $80 a night or $400 a night. It's essentially 2 beds or 1 big bed and a bathroom and a TV and a desk. Really, it's the service that goes along with it is something different. But I find that service from European hotels is often exceptional. So, Kathleen, my daughter and I are going to Paris and want to stay at an Airbnb.
Awesome.
What part of Paris do you recommend? So, Kathleen, we always stay in Montmartre. that's my favorite area. I don't know if it's my art school background or what, but I love that. I have friends who really only stay within like 6 blocks of Notre Dame. One of my girlfriends, she rents the same place and has for like years and years. And we did that too, but in Montmartre. You'll find your place in Paris this first time that you go. You'll just find it kind of, I don't know, wherever you stay, it'll be okay. Because there's always a metro stop within 500 meters. It's a law in Paris that there has to be a metro stop within 500 meters of everything. So it doesn't matter that much, but eventually you'll find your place, and that will be where you stay and just do your thing. Hi, Babs. I'm glad you're here tonight.
Oh, Babs on there?
Yep.
Hey, Babs. So Carmen pointed out, my feet never hurt as much as when traveling in Japan. Lots of walking.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's one thing people need to realize. A lot of people are like, I'm going to get some new shoes for traveling. You need to make sure you break those in. And what I tell a lot of people is like, look, like a month before you go, make sure you're going on a daily walk. Not just like down the block, but we're talking like long miles to get your legs used to that. Because you don't want to get worn out, or you don't want to like have shin splints and stuff like that. So you want to be careful.
The first time we went to Rome together.
Yeah, we did we went after,
because...
So first I want to say thank you, Laura G, for the super chat. That's super nice of you. We will keep it up. We'll go. But yeah, our first time with Jocelyn and I went to Rome together. I mean, I've been there before, obviously a few times, but it was your first time there, right?
It was the first time.
Yeah, so we had gotten engaged. We needed to fly to go meet my parents in Spain and let them know the great news that they're going to have the awesomest daughter-in-law ever. Kind of.
I don't know, Kath. You're on here, right?
Yeah. Don't she'll get in trouble. Shush. Anyway, but like we were going down to Florence. And then like everything, we couldn't get a hotel in Florence and stuff like that. We're trying to go down there. Like, we could just stay on this train. It goes down to Rome. We're like, sure, why not? And so we ended up spending like 24 hours in Rome just to see it. And then we had to fly out.
It was like the Thursday. It was Holy Thursday, the Thursday before Easter. So it's like one of 3 days a year. Bye, Leo. One of 3 days of the year that the Vatican Museum was closed. And I wanted to see that, and we didn't get to do that. And the other thing I missed was the catacombs, which are like way out on the outskirts. So we kind of missed that. But anyway.
Yeah. So Michael Franco asked, is it Mark and Jocelyn? Mitchell? Oh, sorry. I can't.
Brown.
Sorry, Mitchell. My bad.
My
Mitchell Franco. Mark Jocelyn, is it worth buying plane tickets now because of the virus, or wait till the end of summer? It depends when you want to go and how comfortable you feel. You can buy your tickets anytime, and I'm sure they're going to have a thing saying, oh, if you buy now, you will let you change later or something like that, because we don't know how these things are going to go. But the thing is those super cheap deals you had at the beginning of March are no longer there. So you're going to be buying tickets that you might pay more, because when we actually switched tickets from March till the fall, those were actually more higher price, and we had to actually pay extra to get the move because we had to buy the new fair price. So do be careful with that. So I always tell people, it's like, look, whenever you buy a ticket, buy one's a price you feel comfortable with, and go. And then you'll
never never look at it again. Don't look and see that it's cheaper or anything else. Kathleen with the staying in Paris, her daughter is an artist, so
Montmartre. Period. End of story.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's the end of that. You have to.
Yeah.
But don't stay up near the square, because it can get a little bit hairy up there. I come down a little bit. So like if you look at Rue d'Abbesse, it looks like abysses. In English we would say abysses. Look off of that like 4 or 5 blocks in that area, because it'll be a little quieter, but you'll still be really close to all the stuff.
Yeah. So, Brian Boyd, my friend, thank you so much for the super chat, buddy. I'm glad we can help have these chats and help your quarantine a bit better. I mean, to
Brian,
go along with your
fantastic
shirt you have. So I do have that. Mom, hey, my mom says I'm here. Yes, that Kathy Welch is my mom.
And hi to my fake sister in Houston.
Oh, there you go. Someone was asking if I was in Valladolid. I can't remember where it was. In Spain, no, I have not been there. So sadly.
Wait, what's that?
I think here's one.
Yep.
Sarah Lynn Hop. Any tips for coping with stress and uncertainty with all that's going on? I'm still working at a small home daycare and unfortunately don't have the choice right now to stay home. So one of the things you can do, and this is actually our don'ts of quarantine, one of the biggest things you can do is turn off the news, unplug from the social media, because a lot of times it really drives it worse. I actually cut out a part from the don'ts of the quarantine video because what you have to realize is people, like if you're on TV, they want those eyeballs on the TV as much as possible, and people watch more news when they're worried. And so scared people watch more news, so they want you to be scared, so then you're watching more. Now, I'm not saying they're trying to scare you, but the thing is, it's like, think of the headlines you see, these kind of things. Having something like that, the shock, and it's the same reason why you have clickbait on like, oh, you'll never believe what happened to this actor. Wait till you see number 7. They do that to get people hooked in. And the thing is, it can be too much if you have too much of it. So one is just step away. Unplug if you can. I know it's not always possible, but that would be probably the biggest, most helpful thing. And Sarah, you're taking care of kids, and you're doing a great job, and we thank you for that. Yeah,
you're taking care of babies. Focus on them and just how beautiful and wonderful they are. All right, we got to pop right there really quick.
Oh, we got a new member. Inside Lauren's brain.
Lauren.
Thanks, Lauren.
Yay.
You're awesome.
Our Jeopardy girl.
There you go.
Someday Lauren is going to take the Jeopardy challenge the test, and she's going to make it.
Oh, Jeff Krieger, you're very welcome, my friend. Thank you very much for the super chat. If I missed your question, I'm sorry.
I know. If there was a question, it went by.
Yeah. Eric Pelkey, little belly fat. Yeah, I have a little belly.
Yeah, we all have a lot.
That. So that's all good. Let's see.
I did do the Dirty Dozen yesterday, though.
Oh, you did the workout?
Workout.
Yes. So, I know. I need to get back on those.
Mr. Blonde, what'd you miss? I don't know. Just a bunch of stuff.
Just a bunch of stuff. Don't worry. Nilo, I'm glad we can do these for you. It's one of these things that helps us all. There's like, I'm glad we can help out that way. But Noel Ebert, hey, is there a problem bringing prescription meds through airports if they are in your name? Does it depend on the country you're flying through? So, in general, if you have prescription meds, have them in the prescription bottle. And then have a letter from your doctor saying this is the prescription. Like when I've gone to Europe, or we've gone to Europe, or my parents have gone to Europe, stuff like that, we've never had any problems. But like people have had problems in Japan, especially if they have pain pills and stuff like that.
Specifically, they're
you'll hear stories about it. So, but if you have those things with you, and also if you're going to be taking prescription meds, don't just take for the length of your trip. I would always recommend taking like an extra couple weeks in case you get quarantined for 2 weeks or you get stuck someplace because they can't always get you their stuff.
You know what? Hang on, don't lose that because there's something else I want to say. But also, Noel, weird things weird to us as Americans, like here, melatonin, not a big deal. I couldn't get melatonin in Amsterdam. You can buy pot and brownies and whatever, but you couldn't get melatonin.
It's also a natural sleep.
Well, but that was controlled. So there's sometimes funky things. So just whatever it is, if you can take it in the original container, that is best. Yeah. Karen Mack says, how do you plan out your travel days? Do you have a spreadsheet or a type of calendar? Let's be honest here.
No, we have rough days.
No, we do not.
No, I make a thing
as in, we're in this city and we want to see these 3 museums.
Oh, we don't go that far. We just have what city
we're in this city and we want to see these things. And we have 4 days.
Make it happen. Make it so, Ensign.
And Ensign will make it so by... You know what? The kids aren't too cranky today, so let's go here. Next day, kids are cranky in the morning. Let's go to the park instead.
And we always make sure we put stuff in for the kids.
Yeah, absolutely. So. We are kind of fly by the seat people, people.
Hey, this thing, if I can help you remember, I'm glad I can. That's really nice. So
yeah,
cool. All right. Oh, we got stuck again. Oh, sorry. Babs, thank you so much for the super chat. That is super awesome of you.
Thank you, Babs.
Thank you.
Sweet. And you have been such a helpful person in all of this. You're always very engaged.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Heather W. got Mom to tune in. She likes whiskey.
Yay!
Mom.
Whiskey.
Heather's mom. I'm talking to you. Glad I know they forgot to put the E in this one. There's no E in this one, but I'm glad we can do that. Time for a kiss.
Thanks.
That's the only way I get love and affection these days.
Not true.
I know, but I do think one of my favorite parts in the video for the don'ts of the quarantine was how you notice that the I love yous come with hesitation now before people say because you're spending all that time together. Anyway, so time for a kiss. Samantha Brown says the most beautiful men in the world are from Spain. Does Jocelyn agree? If not, which country? Dude, Spanish men
Spanish men
are
hot.
good looking. I mean, I can't tell you. Okay, so I took my students there a few times.
Let's let Mark answer that.
I've taken my dude. Spanish men are freaking hot, man. The women are gorgeous too. Like Spain's got some of those beautiful people in the world.
They really do.
They really do. I'm like
physically gorgeous people.
Yeah, and they're super nice people too. So like,
well, yeah, I didn't mean to say
like,
that.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to say by physically they weren't nice inside.
But yeah, I mean, okay, so I've taken students to Spain twice. And both times, students have made a point to say, I hope we get arrested. No, I'm not kidding. They're like, can we get arrested? I'm like, no, don't get arrested. You just go up and ask them directions to get to know them.
Uh-huh. Yeah. No, I don't know if they're the most because there are beautiful people all over the world.
That's right.
But
Good
Spain
answer.
has an inordinate number of attractive people in comparison to some other places in the world. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a good?
Yeah, I think that's really good. I'm sorry that my answer wasn't good enough. So Nick Barnett's, I took Facebook and Twitter off my phone for now so I can unplug because it was too much. Yeah. And that's sometimes what you have to do. Sometimes you just have to stop. Like people take these Facebook breaks and Twitter breaks and stuff like that because sometimes you really need to do that. So, and that's totally okay.
There are those moments, man.
And Mr. Blah, my favorite TV show, Doctor Who.
Hang on.
Oh, sorry.
Daniel Bauer. Hey guys, having seen your videos, notice you've posted about St. Petersburg but not Moscow. Well, Mark has been to Moscow pre-me. I mean, he had a life before me. It was very sad life.
It's all blurry now. I don't quite
really
remember.
Kind of sucky. But
sorry.
he did go to Moscow, but it was pre-digital camera days.
Yeah, and my parents have gone too, and they like Moscow, but we've all kind of liked St. Petersburg better because St. Petersburg is more it's the imperial city.
It's the less business, yeah.
Well, it's less business, but it's definitely set up more for tourism and stuff like that. I mean, it was supposed to be the window to the west for Peter the Great, and so it's set up that way. So it's a lot easier to explore. It's a lot easier to enjoy,
and you can do it without getting an extra visa. Yeah,
you can do the 48 hours or 72 hours or something. How it is now, you can do that. Calvin Young, thank you very much for becoming welcome to becoming an independent traveler. We'll be having our member and patron live feed this weekend, either Friday or Sunday. I got to figure out that. We got to check our schedule to see what we have.
Because it's packed full.
It's packed full of which room do I have to clean? Which homework do I have to help with?
Like, what do the kids have to do for school? And then, hang on, you just missed that.
I already did that one.
Oh, okay. Sorry. No, that's a different one.
No.
Okay, it is. Sorry.
Someone's been drinking too much wine. Anyway, Christian Valdez, thank you very much for the super chat. You know, hey, you don't want to have the bodily fluid switching stuff. I don't want to get sick. Christian Valdez. God.
Christian, thank you for your super chat.
Yeah, thanks.
My husband sucks.
Christian.
Just wanted to say thanks for everything. Saw your Strasbourg vid. In high school French, finally went last summer. Hope to buy you guys a drink someday.
Oh, get calling for me. I'll be there for you. We were back in Strasbourg actually in October, and I got new Strasbourg phrases come out. I'm glad you got there, and that's cool.
We really enjoy that city. It's something special. I don't know. I mean,
I was supposed to go there with my mom this summer again because our family's from there.
From that area, right? Oh, we should get an Alsace, a puppy, another one, because Brigadier needs a puppy.
Yes, babe.
Oh, okay.
Musing at Midlife, thank you very much for becoming a independent traveler. Welcome to the club.
We're glad to have you.
You're going to be schnockered here in a bit.
Favorite doctor?
Hold on. My favorite doctor? Well, Tom Baker, because that's who I started with. But, number 10. You got to go with David Tennant for the new ones. David Tennant's just awesome. Sue Royster, thank you very much for the super chat. Thank you for the live chat. Love your videos. Have you been to all 50 states? Is that a goal? Yes, it is a goal. I have been to 38 states. I did that little quiz the other day. The boys have been to, I think, 37, 36?
I think 36.
Because they haven't been to D.C.,
and I'm at
Washington. They haven't been to Washington.
I think. But here's the thing. Some of those were when I was young, and I don't really remember them, so I don't feel like they really count. So I need to do them again. Yeah, and so since we're going to see probably more restricted travel this summer, if travel can start up again, we'll be going to travel more around the U.S. and doing things like that. You guys can all pressure him to get an RV because Mama wants to go in an RV. If you work with RVs.com, have them give me a call and we can work something out. So we'll do their RVs around the country for you, babe. How's that? Yes, that's perfect for me. There you are. Yes. Inside Lauren's brain. Oh, wait, dang it. Oh, favorite doctor? Yeah, David Tennant and Tom Baker.
Calvin Young. Oh, you got to use this. Awesome. You got to use the sticker.
Oh, yeah.
Love you guys. Thanks for all the content. What do you think is going to... Wait. What do you think is going to the travel market once this blows over? I imagine there will be deep discounts to encourage people to travel. I think we've had the deep discounts. I think what you're going to see is they're going to have the deep discounts, not just to inspire people, but to make it so people can actually afford to go. Because so many people are losing their jobs and so many businesses are going out of business that there's going to have to be something that inspires people to go to really like restart people going. Because when it comes to it, I mean, I love to travel all the time. I travel all the time, but if I can't feed my kids, I mean, travel is going to go to the side. So you're going to have a very interesting time when that goes.
Jess, I'm glad that we were able to help you and your boyfriend when you went to Paris and Rome. Those are two of our favorite places. B Bussing asks, how did you two meet?
Well, we have a video on that, by the way.
Yeah.
But excuse me, basically, Jocelyn moved to my hometown, and I just got back from studying abroad in Australia in high school. And
we were 16.
We were 16. Don't worry, we didn't become a couple until our early somethings. You're not even 30 yet, so I can't figure out the math with your stuff. So we met on the beach, which was a creek in the backwoods of Illinois.
It's literally like cornfield, and then there's a little creek, and there's this tiny patch of sand where they would dig a hole and bury the keg.
Yes,
by the
Mr.
way,
Blonde.
Quincy Police Department, that's where you need to look.
Oh, no, they're not there. Remember, we went back.
No, we went
back.
back.
They have it.
So I pulled up with my friend Carrie, and I was like, hey, who's that girl playing guitar? Because I just saw Mark with this really long blonde hair, like down to his waist.
I was skinny and pretty.
And I, from the back, just playing on... I mean, you don't see that many long-haired boys in the middle of Illinois, right? So, I was like, who's that girl? And then Mark turns around, I'm like, oh, not a girl. But anyway, I thought Mark was a jerk. Did not like him. That actually isn't the word I used.
Yes, but we're like family-friendly still. Yes, like a donkey.
So, but then many moons later, like 10, 12 years later, Mark messaged me on Facebook, and here we are. Mm-hmm. That's that.
Because Jocelyn was looking to move to Greece, and I was living in Portugal at the time, so I was trying to help her with that. And then next thing you know, she's skipping to work to sit online, and I'm going to work on Saturdays to have internet. I mean, it was a while ago, so there is that. Susanna Carpenter, thank you very much for the super chat. Love your videos. Also enjoying quarantine in Central Illinois.
Woo, we had sunshine today.
We did have
Praise
sunshine.
God.
Susanna? Did you enjoy the like 40-degree morning and then like 70-degree afternoon? It's true Central Illinois spring, where it's like, oh, is it going to snow, or am I going to get a sunburn when I go for a walk? So, Mr. Blonde, this is I went to space camp with Liam this year. He wanted to go, so we went together. So we actually have a video, the don'ts of space camp, so you can check that out.
Those who wonder, so is Brigadier the dog a tip of the hat
to the Brigadier? Yes, he is. Who? He is Brigadier Lethbridge Walters. He is exactly from that Brigadier. So we are Whovians. And actually, can you see over here? There is 11 and Amy Pond right there. Because I have the superheroes up here. Matt Smith and Karen Gillan. So we have that. So, yep. So we have that. Oh, another super chat. Christian Valdez. There you go. From Mama's RV Fund. Thank you, Christian. That's really nice. You Henry Martinez. My goodness. All these are popping up now for us. Okay. Henry Martinez, thank you very much, buddy. Really appreciate it. I hope you're doing okay in Cali. I hope you're all being safe and everything. Jocelyn, you mentioned in your last chat that you were bit by a tsetse fly in Rwanda. It was Tanzania.
It was in Tanzania.
Did you experience any symptoms like fever or extreme fatigue?
No.
Just like, oh my God, she's in pain.
Just that, like, oh my God, I'm going to punch somebody because this hurts. But after that, no, I was fine. So no, it was good. And I hope you're doing well out there. And I know it's a little extreme. So,
Noel Ebert says, hey, Wolters World, Jocelyn, will you do a historical architecture on your YouTube videos and the places you've been on your videos? You can recycle vids from Wolters World.
Mark's been after me for like a decade to do that, but
but we're not. I'm not even bringing it up. I don't bring up anything about a book anymore. I don't bring up this anymore. I don't bring up we can make a cookbook
and I do better with them.
And she's doing great. Go look at the blogs on the quarantines. On the quarantine, well, that's the dumb. If you go to our over here, you can actually go to woltersworld.com, and Jocelyn actually puts together some pretty good quarantine videos about what we've been doing to give like some more real life stuff. Like sometimes my lovey-doveyness can be too much, and sometimes we all are like, get the hell away from me. So it's
the truth.
It's really a
but
good
you
thing.
know what? I'm writing those. My audience in my mind. When I'm writing those for my descendants. I'm not writing them to you or to people now, although you're the ones reading them now. I'm writing them for like our grandchildren, because as a child, I always wanted to know what my grandparents' lives were like. When like my papu fought in World War II, and what was it like for him and my yaya, and how did that work out? So anyway, that's what's in my head.
So inside Lauren's brain, I like Jamie from the Second Doctor actually quite a bit.
Favorite companion.
I like Rose. Everyone likes Rose. She was good.
I like Amy.
But you can't beat Captain Jack. I can't wait for him to come back next season. So to do Mr. We jumped around again. David Hammond, come back to Texas and eat barbecue. Oh, we will.
We will.
And I'm going to come down to Dallas, and I'm going to be visiting my buddies Mark and Terry, who's having her birthday today. We're going to get some barbecue and have a good old time. And actually, I might not fly Delta because there's a direct flight from here on American down to Dallas. So maybe I'll do that. Or maybe I'll just fly with Delta from the other place and just go.
Eric, you're funny.
Because I can hit Bojangles up in Atlanta. So
Room with a View. How many countries?
Oh, Room with a View. How have you been?
How many countries have you and Jocelyn been to? The answer is not enough.
Yeah.
I don't actually know my count. We pay attention to the kids' count more than we do our own.
So Caleb's at 50 or 51.
He's at 50.
And Liam's at like
47.
47, yeah. So like if they wouldn't have had this, I think the boys would have been, Liam would have been at 50 like next month.
So our plan for 2020, if you look back on my old Instagram post,
was planned to get to 20 countries in 2020.
20 countries in 2020 Well, and
we
they
got
weren't
to two.
all new countries.
We got to two. We got the U.S. and we got to Aruba.
No,
Not Aruba. We went to El Salvador.
We went to El Salvador.
We got those two.
Aruba was last fall.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 20 for 20 isn't happening. Maybe it'll be 21 for 21 next year. I don't know. So there's that.
So let's see. Art question for you. How do you decide where and how to buy art and avoid scammers trying to sell local art pieces in a foreign country? You want to do that, or I can talk about that?
Wait, what? Where did that go? I was reading other things. I apologize.
So basically they're asking about how do we choose what art to buy and not think it's a scam.
So here's the thing. We have a whole wall full of art right over here, and I don't think I paid more than the equivalent of $40 for, well, I don't know. There might be one or two up there that I paid a little more than that. But the majority of things on that wall cost about 15 to 20 euros max.
Yeah, like the frames are more than
one, two.
Well, we have one that was 50 because that was
one,
and that was one we actually got. We actually met the artist. We talked to him for an hour?
We spent a lot of time with him.
And he ended up giving us like extra paintings and stuff like that. And like we could say, like we were standing, he's like, you're right here on this kind of thing. And that's one of the
things. I mean, it's an incredible cityscape of Paris. So that one, and then the one that I bought in Amsterdam with the windmill, it says silver etching, and that one was like 40 euros.
Yeah, and they're like, because the guy died. I'm like, okay, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, but generally speaking, I don't think there's much up there
except for Marie Antoinette.
Marie was a little bit more than that.
But Marie is something special. If you ever look and see, if you go on our Instagram, you'll see me with a cow dressed as Marie Antoinette. Yeah, you'll understand. It's like life size.
TGK, the blogs from Jocelyn are amazing. It's real life mom, wife, partner chronicles. Thank you. That's what it's supposed to be. I appreciate that.
That's nice to hear. Steve Williams, cinnamon whiskey in my tea.
Eric, dude, we love you too.
Love you, Eric, buddies. Yeah, Rebecca Point, the quarantine blogs have been an absolute blast. I love it. Thank you. And that's the thing is, we're trying to figure out ways that we can help everybody else realize that they're not alone, because that's one of the things I worry about is everyone's kind of stuck doing the same thing. We're all stuck in our houses. We're stuck in our stuff, and we can get out for a little bit. In some places they can't get out. If we can give something to give people a way to talk and have a voice or just share, I think that's one of the best things we can do. I mean, that's why it's like, no, we're doing this. And for those who know, we're doing this every Wednesday night through April. And if the quarantines continue, we'll keep on going there. We're doing it every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Well, it's Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Chicago time. And then it's Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Chicago time. We're doing those. And then for our members or patrons, we actually will do another one. We're probably doing one of those every 2 weeks. So one's this weekend. So you'll get a thing about that. Kevy, I'm glad you could catch a live stream, buddy.
Welcome, dude. How safe was El Salvador? What would you do differently? You know what? I felt pretty okay in most parts of El Salvador. We hired a local guide, and we stayed in quite frankly more touristy areas than we usually do. And part of that is because El Salvador does have some crime issues.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, those are kind of in a specific area.
Centrally located in certain parts of the capital and stuff like that.
So you just avoid those things. I don't know that I'd do anything differently.
No,
I enjoyed El Salvador
because we went to the main lake. We went and saw the main mine sites, hit the beach up, stuff like that.
And we did a lot of
we
that.
didn't get to the colonial
day.
cities in the mountains and stuff like that. Because the thing, we got pupusas. The most important part of having pupusas was the right place for that.
If I could have done something differently, I would have added 3 days to do some of those mountain towns and stay in that area too, because we just stayed on the coast and so we couldn't quite do everything. Yeah, and Gustavo, we haven't got a chance to put out a lot of our El Salvador videos yet. I did put out the Is El Salvador Safe for Travel? And basically it was like, yes, it's not like what it used to be. I mean, you still need to be careful because what happens is people will see the people at the gas station with an M16 and this other stuff, what the heck? And you're like, yes, they have that, but it sounds weird. If you travel a lot in Central and South America, you're like, that's not uncommon, It's a different. Watch out for Neil Caffrey.
Oh, Neil Caffrey. Oh, he is the most beautiful man. I mean, he could be Spanish. He's that good looking. Oh, Jose Pereira, mi amiguinho. Hotel I booked with in Copenhagen refused to refund me despite multiple emails over COVID-19 and Euro 2020 postponed. Room was non-refundable, I understand. I contacted my credit card company to fight charges. What else can I do?
Rebook.
No, well, if they'll let you rebook.
Try that as an alternative. See if maybe you can just say, hey, I'm going to come there. I'm just not going to come at these dates.
And see if that helps.
Because
then one of the things you can look at is hey, look, maybe if I do go back, I might be able to do something. There could be that way. Because actually that was one of our places. We got to move our tickets, so it actually helped us. Instead of losing the money, it moved it over in case it thinks okay to travel then. But contacting your credit card company is probably the best you can do because you're in Copenhagen. And I suggest you watch our Shocks of Denmark video. It'll make it kind of understanding why they're psst, whatever. Just let you know that one. But it's a cool place to go. I hope you can go. It's a really cool city. Let's see. So, Albana 1, hi, I had plans to travel to the U.S. this summer or early autumn. Do you think it will be safe to travel next year instead? Well, next year, I think once, because the thing is, we don't know if they're going to have a vaccine for this kind of stuff, but what we want to make sure is there's enough treatment. If you have enough, what they call the herd immunity, where enough people have had it, so they're not going to get it again, you might have some luck with this, but I just feel, I think, basically write off travel through May, for everywhere, and then June most places, then maybe late summer things might get a bit better, but looking towards next year, hopefully they'll have something. But yeah, I mean, there's no real sure what's going to go happen. I think what will happen is you'll see more within country travel. I talked about this before today, but you'll see more in country travel where people are like, look, I'm going to travel where I know it close by. So I think convention and visitors bureaus or whatever they're called nowadays, they go by something else. Destination management places, what they're going to have to do is advertise to your local people to come and enjoy places nearby for day trips and stuff like that. But yeah, no one can really say much there. Hey, Mr. Blonde, thanks for the hug, my buddy. Eric Pelkey, love these guys. Love you too, buddy. Glenn Starsky, stuck in New York City, which is suffering when this ends. Can you at least suggest others visit New York? We're going to need it. P.S. Plenty of great day trips just outside the boroughs in both New York and New Jersey. And this is one of the things. When it's okay to travel again, if you can travel, I do suggest we do, because think of all those places you really enjoyed. You've missed them so much. Go back, visit them again, or go explore new places, because they're going to need it. And the thing is, when you go and travel, people are going to appreciate that you're traveling, you're being there. When they haven't had people there for a long time, you're really making a difference, because a lot of the places in tourism industries, it's not just Disney that's this big corporate thing that has stockholders and stuff like this. It's mom and pop restaurants and bars and things like that really can make you going there and eating there does make a difference in their lives. It's like, hey, thank you. You helped me feed my kid. And I think that's one of the things, because for a lot of countries like Italy and Spain, tourism is a huge part of the economy. France, I remember we were visiting France when there was when there was all those terrorist attacks like 2016, around then. We were going to France quite a bit just to be there for them, and we would have French hotel owners say, "Thank you for coming." They're like, "Thank you just for being here."
And then they found out what we did.
Yeah,
and
they
were
like, "Oh, thank you." And so it's interesting because so many people stopped going. And
also we had Paris to ourselves, which was kind of gorgeous.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
Jose, thank you. Have you answered that, or is that just coming?
No, because Jose had another one. Jose he's on fire.
No, just down.
So anyway, someone was asking. Where'd it go? I wanted to answer. Kenneth Steele, will it be safe to go to New Zealand next year? I hope so, because we're going to be planning on going there late this year. So hopefully it will be, but we can't really say. No one can really say. Jose Pereira back again with another super chat. Hey, buddy, I really appreciate it. The hotel I booked within Budapest refunded me no problem. That's what made things more frustrating. I've worked in retail for 20 years, so I get it. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is hotels that are screwing people over now, or people that are screwing people over now, we all need to remember that. And so when they want our business again later, you're like, look, when we had trouble, you didn't help us, so why should we help you? I mean, that's one of those things where you see a lot of people posting, remember that local business that helped out your organization? Now help them back out. These are things that we can do. Do you want to look at one of those? Okay, Brian Boyd, one travel is, say you're only 10 days out from your trip and you want to cancel, but the hotel only allows cancel outside of 30 days. Call, rebook for more than 30 days, then call the next day and cancel. Yeah, and also I would recommend not calling at the same time so you get a different person. So there's all kinds of little things you can do. Oh, hey! Henry! Where'd it go?
Jumped.
Oh, it jumped. Dang it.
Massive jump.
I saw Henry's picture pop up there. Oh, there he is.
All right. Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you for the super chat, Henry. Are there a lot of Salvadoran restaurants in Chicago or even Quincy? Ooh, nice, dude. Have you guys ordered any pupusas to be delivered home? Gracias, guys. So sadly, not a lot of Salvadoran restaurants that I know about in Chicago or especially in Quincy, but I wish there was. And if there are, somebody let us know. So next time we're up in Chicago, there has to be in Chicago.
Right?
Because if you're not sure what pupusas are, they are like heaven. Just watch our video on eating pupusas. You'll be happy.
Yeah.
It's beautiful things.
Lauren, we'll see you
Dang
on
you,
Saturday.
Henry, for making me miss it.
Gallivanting Gals, join us on an RV adventure. Let's have a big tailgate of RVs. Wouldn't that be fun? Actually, when I was a kid, we used to do that. We had an RV when I was young, and then some of our best friends, they were kind of like my adopted grandparents. They had one also. And before we did our big trip out west as a family, we did these short little ones, and we actually went 2 RVs together. It was really fun. Mr. Blonde, yes, I should get one of those massive wine glasses. The problem is I'll drink the whole glass, and that would be a problem.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Right.
I know, Libra. Quarantine would be so much better if I could find a Bloody Mary delivery service. That's our thing. Because with all
they have that now. Sam's is delivering alcohol.
Oh, now. Really? Oh, because I was getting worried because I'm like, wait, these whiskey Wednesdays, wine Wednesdays. I brought up our last of our extra hidden whiskey in the basement, and I'm like, uh-oh, we got 2 bottles left. So good to know.
Hang on, this is good. Mitchell Franco, Jocelyn and Mark and Jocelyn. If you wanted to quit your job to travel for a month, knowing you'll get hired back when you return, how would you prepare financially? So, for me, when we go on a big long trip, the first thing that I'm concerned with, Mark would deal more with how are we going to pay for things. My concern is how am I going to take care of my space. Finding somebody that we know and trust to stay in our home and take care of our dog and things like that. That's like a thing that we need to do. So that's my first step. And then financially, you sock money away monthly.
Yeah, because we've made a lot of financial decisions that can gear us towards doing all our travels and making to do these videos and stuff like this. And part of it, like cutting off subscription services and stuff like that. Like we haven't had cable since it came with our apartment before Liam was born. We lived in Portugal. And so we make sure we don't have much. And like a lot of times when you're not sure, like, should I go out tonight and eat or do not, or go out to eat or not go out to eat? Like, I'm like, look.
You should not go out to eat.
Should not go out to eat. Like we can eat at home. Like she can cook great. Obviously, look at me. I used to be skinny. Well, skinny-ish, theoretically. But the thing is, it's like, I'm like, look, we can go out to eat or we can save that money and go out and eat in Italy. So instead of going out to an Italian restaurant here, I can go there. That kind of mentality helps us to say no. And so like one of the big things I miss here is, our usual weekend at our house is Friday night we have friends over, Saturday night we have friends over, Sunday night we have family dinner with our buddy Sakanachek. So any of you know our buddy Jeff, who's in the quarantine video. They come over, we go over there and we have dinner. So like that socializing stuff, we're like, look, we can, if we have a bottle of wine we get from the store, it's $10. We go out to dinner, it's like 50. So we make choices like that to make sure that it's there. So, and then when we think about taking a month of travel, that's a lot of money. And so
part of that too is look at where you're going, and if you can rent an apartment and stay in one place and see a lot of things from that one place. Renting an apartment, at least for us, is cheaper. Rob and I did, Rob from Trip Hacks DC.
Going to DC, check out his videos. He is awesome. Take his guided tour. He's a great guy.
Great tour guide. But we did this thing about the good, the bad, and the ugly of Airbnbs and just apartment rentals in general. And he made this really great point because we always rent them and we cook. But he's like, you know what? When I go somewhere, I don't cook. You have to be realistic about that. Like, are you really going to be able to do that? So, like, think on those terms because you're going to save a lot of money when you're traveling if you can eat at home in wherever your home is. Good? Yeah. Oh, Aberdeen. I love Aberdeen. We
have family there. Town. Well, family buried there. I'm sure there's still some relation. I'm sure there's still some relation that's still there.
What's the most unusual food you've eaten abroad?
So I think the first unusual food I had abroad was tongue in Mexico, and I loved it. And that really helped me realize that, you know what? Any food, if it's good, it's good. You can eat anything. It's pretty good. It's cooked well. It's cooked well.
But I grew up eating tongue. My yaya used to make tongue all the time, so that's not weird to me.
Yeah. Well, then another thing I thought was weird, but I think I'm really glad I had is...
donkey?
No, not donkey. Donkey was not.
We didn't know it was donkey, y'all.
Don't eat donkey.
No, we did not know it was donkey until later.
Yeah. There's a reason why they call it ASS because it's anyway.
I didn't notice that. I mean, it was not.
I'm trying to think of some other So I've had like guinea pig in Peru, which was fine until I started to think about what it was. Alpaca actually is really good if you get alpaca steaks in Peru.
Those are excellent. I love octopus. That's like one of my favorite dishes is like fresh. Actually, fresh octopus is like absolutely incredible.
Yeah. So Kinesteel, have you ever been to Basingstoke? It is near Downton Abbey. Have you ever seen the horse race in Siena? So Jocelyn's going to be by there actually, hopefully later this year before we can go up.
I think we have tickets. I don't know if I ever got those or not. But one of my girlfriends and I are going to Downton, and then I'm going out.
What's the name of this place?
Highclere Castle.
Yeah.
But I want to go there, and I want to go to the Jane Austen Festival, and I want to go to Stratford upon Avon, and like there's a bunch of stuff that I want to see. So we're making this crazy road trip. What are you laughing at? Are you laughing at me?
No, I'm not. So for you that are watching these things over here, we get different ones, and so it'll pause, and so we'll read. And somebody just cracked me up. Paul Hayes.
Is it Paul?
Why bother with the glass? Is that trashy? I'm not ashamed.
I love you, Paul.
This is like thank you for making my life better. I think you should take a sip
from the bottle for Paul. I don't have any
of whiskey.
In my glass. Why the heck not?
I'll give you some wine.
Okay, thank you, dear. You have to take the lid off first.
It's one of those days. Answer some questions, my love.
What's the toughest country to get to and the biggest hassle?
Bhutan!
That is going to be my answer. We haven't been there yet, but it's like, it costs like, okay, we disagree about how much it costs, but I think it's $250 per day per person to be in the country. Plus you have to use only their country, their approved guides. or tour companies and whatever. There's a lot of stuff that you have to abide by. However, I want to get to Bhutan. I want to see it, and I want to envelop that because I think it sounds like a really amazing place.
Yeah. So Susanna Carpenter, we too have a Benny's where we're at. Don't know if they still do that, but Instacart delivered alcohol from Benny's. Benny's is a local liquor store here in Illinois, probably other places too. And actually, this is from Benny's, and this is from Benny's. So Benny's, if you want to sponsor us, hey, we appreciate it because we do your stuff. But yeah, that is nice. Oh, there's a super chat that just popped up. Oh, where'd it go? I don't know where it went. Elliot Label, thank you very much for the super chat, my friend. Big fan of your channel. Keep it coming.
Thank you.
Elliot, we will do our best.
Big fan.
Even if we're not going to be traveling for a while, we have videos to put out for travel. So we're going to do what we can to help. We're going to put out other things to help people going by. And as long as this is going on, we're going to be doing these live feeds so we can help people. So if we're not doing the live feeds, it means we're probably traveling, which means things are getting better. So calamari with lemon.
Yeah,
so good,
I
Brian.
love some calamari.
Why, Brian? Why you got to hurt me like that, Brian? I'm so hungry for that right now.
Because Mama's not going to be cooking that anytime soon. Kenneth Steele. Mark, did you have sheephead in Iceland? No, but you know what we did have?
Fermented shark. And watch we have a video on that. It was actually on the science. It was on the Science Channel.
So I ate it, and I'm like, oh, it's not so bad. And Caleb kept telling
the whole
me,
time.
he's like, it's awful in the minute. Just it's fine at the beginning.
And you're like, oh no, it's fine.
He's like,
no, just wait, it's fine. And she's like, oh my god. He's like, I told you. We have the video of it on there. Just look like Iceland eating shark, Wolters World. It'll pop up, and Caleb's like, I told you.
Harash Veer, any plans to travel to India in the future? So yes. Actually, so. One of Mark's students, Dwee, amazing guy, like just super great guy.
He still writes to my parents because he went on a trip with me to Denmark and Germany with them, and so my parents have met a lot of my students over the years, but he's the one student they consistently ask, "What's Dwee up to these days? You doing okay?" So we got to see Dwee.
Yeah, actually, he and I were talking. He got a new puppy.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So anyway, yes, we will definitely go there. We have several ties now to India. It's just the trouble with getting to India is that it's very expensive to get there. So to go, we want to be able to spend a decent amount of time. Plus, it's a massive country and it's very regional. There's so much to see.
Yeah,
and it's so different.
South
so many different
north
cultures.
And
yeah,
food's so different.
So we have to do that when we have a long amount of time. Unfortunately, our kids are in school, and when they're out, it's like hot as Hades.
Like I will literally burst into flames, and my fat on my body will sizzle.
Can handle it. This man will not be able to handle any of that. So we're trying to juggle that. It may it'll happen.
Yeah,
and
what may happen.
Sure when.
One of my friends, Jeff. If you ever watch our videos, he's my buddy Jeff. Occasionally, will pop up in the videos. So we're talking about going there for like a week or so, like a 10-day like trip over, like a buddies trip.
And that makes me mad because I want to go.
Yeah, but he's got friends that are there and they can show us around. So it'd be really great to see like locals and have locals show us around. So there is stuff like that. So let's see. Seth, ever tried Rocky Mountain oysters? They taste a little chewier, dark meat turkey. I have had them. I had them with my dad. He did not tell me what they were until afterwards. And you're right. They really were like chewier, dark meat turkey. I'm like, why am I keep chewing these? For those who don't know what Rocky Mountain oysters are, they're the, of animal. Let's just put it that way.
Pigs?
No.
Cows?
Probably.
They're that big?
I don't know.
Dang.
Wouldn't the cows be bigger than the pigs?
I know.
Anyway, Jane Paul, thank you very much for the super chat. Okay, let me know if you guys have ever decided to go to Haiti. I'll be happy to guide you, as you've so often unknowingly guided me. Great folks, fantastic food, and beautiful places. Look, Jocelyn has loved Haiti forever. I'll let you tell your Haiti story.
So, Jane, when I was living in Savannah, the Haitian American Society was building a monument in Savannah because the Haitians, if anyone doesn't know, were actually our first, what's the word I'm looking for?
The first one that signed up for independence for us. That recognized.
Allies. Good golly, Miss Molly. So,
couldn't be the line.
Anyway, the Haitians, they did so much for us in our infancy in this country. And so anyway, I worked with them a lot, and I met several people from the government came over, like Minister of Culture and just different people. And it was really cool. But the Haitian American Society, Daniel, the guy that headed it up, was just great. And I sort of fell in love with all things Haitian. And I
remember that. That was when we first started dating too.
They were going to do some preservation work on the castle there, and I was literally signing up for it. And then this happened, and babies started happening, and so I never got to go there. But Jane, I will take you up on that because dang, I wanna like really feel it.
The history in Haiti is incredible. Like, I know most people want to think of the recent history, but like the whole history of this place, you don't understand.
Those
Haiti
people
is a
have
special place.
such a deep, rich heritage, and I want to be a part of that for a minute.
So, April Finley, thank you very much for helping your dad out as he's knocking about the margaritas and enchiladas. Make sure, April, you tell your mom happy birthday from the Wolters family, okay? Thanks for what you're doing. So, Babs, we were going to go to Israel. We had to cancel that trip like the day before and switch it. Yeah. And we were supposed to go back this summer, which is now getting canceled as well. And I'm like, I'm out money again on this kind of stuff. So it's not just you all that are out money when some places are like, no, we're not going to get money back. We lost money twice on the same person. So, yeah. Anyway, moving on. Mr. Blind.
I want to talk about that.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh my gosh. World school. So we thought about world schooling our kids back in the day,
and now we've homeschooled. But you know what? Here's the thing: the homeschooling, and all of you parents out there, I want to say this to you.
Yeah.
How'd your math go?
Huh?
How'd your math go?
Okay, for most of it, I didn't know what
to So I want to say this to all of you parents who are suddenly being homeschoolers: you're not actually homeschooling. I have homeschooled, and what we're doing right now is not homeschooling. We are in limbo. Because we're getting all of this stuff from teachers, and then we're implementing it with the idea that they're going to go back to school, but we all kind of know they're not going to go back to school. There's just, it's a crazy time, and you're not really homeschooling. They're not really going to school, and you're just this limbo thing. So give yourself a little bit of grace. It's not really what it is. And you know what? I would love to world school our kids. If I could go back, I think that I would have done some world schooling when they were younger.
Yeah.
But there's no way we could do that to Caleb now.
No, I mean, because right now we're looking to get Caleb, because he's in 7th grade, next year's 8th grade, and like we want him to have his high school years in one spot.
Place. I don't care if it's here or Paris or
wherever we are when he starts high school, we want him there so he has a place. This is where I went to high school. This is my.
Like I want him there I want the academics to be consistent through high school. I went to 3 high schools, y'all. There was catch up every year when we moved, and that was really different. So I don't want that for my kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What's the name of that bakery you always visit in Paris?
Oh, well, I can look it up. Liam took my phone.
Here, take mine.
All right. Questions.
James Land. Hey, how are you?
Hi, James.
We do homeschool, and Abeka is a phenomenal program if anyone's looking for a great program. Mark's cousin uses Abeka for several different things. Not for every class.
Shout out to Janae.
Yes, but for a bunch of them. So, yeah.
Where is your... Oh, that's right. You don't. Okay.
Frost, congrats on the 50-pound weight loss. Can you share how you did it? Mark did this. I'll share for you. Okay. Just keep working. Mark basically made a conscious decision every day. He started walking. He did go to the gym more often, but he just looked at what he ate, and instead of just like, because it tasted good, just keep shoveling, he just stopped shoveling. He paid attention to what his stomach was telling him and whether or not he was full. So it was just like a day by day thing. And truly, that's the way you do it. That's it.
And I realized that I don't need to finish the kids' plates every single time. That was one of the things. I'm like, we're at a restaurant. You can't leave that. And I just, boom. Or at dinner, boom. I'm like, right there, probably knocked out probably 700 calories a day.
Yeah. Means to Travel and Brian Boyd. I don't know what the conversation is going on exactly, but he says, I found French wine especially cheaper in France. And absolutely. Bottles that we would pay here in the U.S. like $25, $30 for, you'll get for like 10 euros. Like Portuguese wine, I don't know how much this wine is, but generally speaking, like when I buy a mid-grade bottle of Portuguese wine in the US, I'm going to pay 10 to, yep, that's it. Granera Pain.
That's the place. Go there.
That's the best baguette in Paris. It was actually voted best baguette in Paris.
That's been 10 years ago, but it's still dang good.
That turned the light bad.
I know, we got it. Anyway, it'll get there eventually.
It'll
It'll adjust itself.
So, anyway.
Hope that helps, Rebecca.
So like I was saying, Portuguese wine in the US, I might pay 10 or 12 euros or $10 or $12 for, but I'll pay like 3 to 5 euros in Portugal. So that's the way that goes. Ding dang dong.
Yes, so our next purchase is going to be one of those like lights that like with the circle thing, so we can have better lighting than this, so you don't have us looking orange all the time.
Nader, you're from IUPOI?
No. He has.
One of my best friends is there.
His master's there.
And a temporary prof there this fall with cerebral palsy, and is Haitian. Very inspiring guy. I would say so. That's really cool.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Dang it! Did that dang jump thing again. Jimmy UK is still awake at 3:10.
Go to bed, honey.
What else is he gonna do? He's locked at home too, man. I know
you're stuck at home too. Just stay up with us.
Hey, Jimmy, do me a favor. Give your mom a hug tomorrow. Tell her she has a good kid, okay?
Yeah.
Or a good son. You're not a kid.
No.
So,
Gallivanting gals. Wine in Rome is cheaper than water. That is not a joke.
And beer in Germany is cheaper than the water you have to buy. Hence why I drink so much beer there, because of, financial reasons.
James Land, I'm a product of the 80s and I prefer sweet wine or a wonderful port.
Oh.
What do you recommend for the Kool-Aid generation? So,
I would go with
Moscato in the U.S. and anything from the central wineries like Central Illinois, Missouri. Missouri actually has some decent wines, but they do tend to be fairly sweet.
Like I feel cavities.
Yeah, but if that's what James likes, then
that's what you like. If you want to go for, if you go for the white ones from Germany, oh my God, how did I not remember what they're called? Your mom drinks them all the time.
What? Oh.
The German wines.
Rieslings.
Go for some of the Rieslings. They actually do some really good sweet wines. I remember I went there and I was in the Mosel Valley and I met Paul Krug, there's a winery there. He's now passed away. But we met him and he was like, you start out drinking sweet and then you meet an old man like me and you drink dry. We're like, ha ha ha. The dude drank us under the table in his own winery, and then his wife comes like, oh, he's with you. We're like, yeah. So apparently he had a little bit of dementia, and so he'd go wandering. So he wandered, found my buddy and I, Magnus, and brought us into the winery and just got us hammered. So we ended up having to spend the night in the little village because we were so done. Anyway. It's fine, man.
Okay, hang on. Mr. Means to Travel. I have a whole wine arbitrage theory, if anyone is interested, based on a very formative Simpsons episode featuring a baby lobster.
Are you talking about the one where Bart goes to France to be an exchange student with the antifreeze?
I can't wait to hang out with you guys. We're gonna have so much fun.
Yep. Okay, so Gary Bogo Gary buy one get one free. Has written quite a few times. What's the country you found least safe? I don't know. It's not really a city. It's not
Barcelona.
A country. It's more city. It's more like
because you're going to get pickpocketed. Not that
and
I feel like
care.
something's going to happen.
Yeah.
Physically.
There was a time I was in Mexico in Guadalajara. I was a little worried. But it's never been like a country I feel like not safe in, because we make a point to not go to places or go to parts of places that are like that.
That's a big thing. We educate ourselves on that, especially because we're taking our children. So we're very careful to stay in the right places and not kind of, wander into bad places. Jose Pereira says Casal Garcia is for cheap Portuguese green wine. So absolutely, I agree with you. It's got a blue label.
And they sell a lot in the U.S. now. It's one of the ones you can easily get in the US.
They do. So if you all don't know what green wine is, it says in English, Vino Verde. But Vinho Verde is like this lovely, it's an early white wine. They pick it a little early, so it's got a little effervescence to it. It's not bubbly like champagne, but it kind of tingles on your tongue.
You want to drink it cold. It's got to be
Drink it
cold.
very cold, not at the 56 degrees. It needs to be quite a bit chillier than that. Great for the summer. Like the minute summer hits, I drink Spritz Aperol and I drink Vinho Verde, and that's it. I just sit out there.
And even Kathy Wolters was telling you to share green wine with your friends.
Oh God, Kathy.
So Jose Pereira and Kathy Wolters, who's a very special lady, her and I are very close. It's like I was birthed from her. We all like green wine. My mom's had a lot of green wine in her days.
We got really drunk that one night.
Yes, my dad and I had had to be kind of like barriers so they didn't go into the street or run into like the stores. We were coming back from chicken and clams. I lived in Portugal for 5 years, and Jocelyn was there for 2 years, and Caleb was there, and Liam was born there. So,
but we had sat and it was really hot, and we sat out and we had this beautiful little garden. Praise God for small miracles, because that was an amazing thing to have. What a blessing. But we sat there and we drank like 2 bottles of this. I didn't even think about it.
Before we went to dinner.
And then we went to dinner and
we had a couple bottles there. And the thing is, this place we went to all the time.
It was like
and
our
we would
kitchen.
tip. And Portugal wasn't typical to tip. Like, don't tip us money. Like, no, it's okay. And so like they just give us extra wine. So it was 5 bottles of wine, of which my dad and I probably drank beer instead. Like they had a good old time. But
dinner lasted hours. But anyway, The fact remains, we had way too much wine that night. That's all there is to that.
Good time. So
I don't know if that was
Jordan
good time.
Sreski asked, Mark, did you enjoy Austrian wine while you were there? I had a great experience at a cellar and did a tour and dinner. Grüne Veltliner was really good. Actually, I have, and I've had a good time. So if you're ever in Vienna, you actually go right outside of Vienna. You go to the Wienerwald, the Vienna Forest, out around there. There's actually a lot of vineyards that go there. And actually, one of my former students, I don't remember his vineyard now, so that's what sucks, actually has a vineyard out there.
Shut the front door.
Yeah, he does. This is...
Dude.
Yeah, this is like when I first started teaching in Illinois. This is like 10 years ago. So he's like,
Vineyard.
I know.
I want to be cool like that. Can we do that for retirement? Can we have it?
No. We can drink because we're gonna drink wine.
We'll make the kids.
No,
but we'll make the kids run it. Shh! Don't tell. They might hear us.
Just drink the wine.
Okay, James. Tell your wife hello, and I think
James.
Quite the compliment. He said that when they first started watching, or when he first started watching, she's like, "You're weird talking to strange people," and now she's like, "It's 9 p.m. Log on to Wolters World."
And James's wife, we
Mrs.
salute
Land,
you.
Thank you.
How gals will come up from
Katie Hill, yes, try green wine. Y'all really should do that. Favorite tequila.
I want to before I get the tequila, I can go grab the tequila from over there. That's my favorite.
I think we have it.
Oh no, I brought it up. Here to go. Where'd it go? Oh no, where'd it go?
Warsaw and Krakow?
No,
I don't know because I haven't been to both.
My wife has lost. Please, I love you, and that's all that matters. Anyway, I'm getting the hair to it. You answer some questions. I'll show you.
Okay. Oh shoot! It is jumpy tonight, isn't it?
I know. It's like everyone's on Netflix.
Bab says, "I love that this conversation switched to drinking." I'm sorry. That's because I've had more than I usually do. Vermont. Oh, Russell Gregory.
Who?
Rusty's on!
From Vermont?
Yes!
An amazing teacher, a great friend, married to one of the most wonderful women in the United Kingdom.
Welcome.
With 3 great daughters. I don't know who you're talking about.
Amazing. He says Vermont beer for the win.
Oh, Vermont beer, dude. Yeah, Vermont beer is legit, man.
We're so glad to see you.
So Rusty's a friend of mine from like kids' times. And we've seen Rusty. We were in Vermont, I don't know, in 2013. We stopped by and had a great time with them. And then they were in Aberdeen for a wedding, and we were in Scotland at the time, and we made it to go. We went back down and met them there. Great time. Rusty's a good man. He's a good man. So if your kids are in Vermont and they're taking classes and stuff like that, and they have this guy as a professor, teacher, whatever,
an educator,
have a great guy, does good work for making websites and stuff like that. So give him a shout out. He's a good man. Good man. Anyway, on to other things. So my favorite tequila is Herradura. I went to their actual factory when I was a kid, because that's what you did when you were. That's how we roll in the Wolters house.
That's what happens in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, and since I'm out of Glenlivet.
Oh, good God bless y'all.
Well, we're recycling. We're trying to save the planet.
Will Evans says,
Okay.
"Oh, I'm
no,
sorry.
it's okay. Never mind.
Tequila, go tequila."
No, I just went to the factory and had a good time, and then when we came through the border, we had 2 bottles and put it out, and the guy's like, "That's the good stuff." You like it was kind of like the sign, like, "Oh, you're good tourists. You can take those with you." And then our kind of like daughter, it's one of my former students, Jess Marquez. Love Jess to death. She's a CPA, so she's a little busy right now. And so I remember I gave her a bottle of this for her dad, and her dad's like, "Oh, it's not that kind of party. That gets crazy." So I always remember that with her. So good times.
Very cool. Hang on.
Sorry,
Yeah, I did. I had a question here. Oh, Will Evans. I'm hopefully traveling to Connecticut this summer. My question is, what are the best places to see in Connecticut?
Mystic.
Mark said it. Mystic. We're big fans of Mystic Seaport. One of my dear friends that I used to work with in Savannah, went to college together. She's in charge of, or she's not in charge of, but she is part of the education department at Mystic Seaport. Mystic does incredible good stuff. I don't know what this quarantine is going to do to Connecticut. The whole Northeast up there is having a lot of issues and things, but they have incredible things. And I know that she just posted a bunch of education stuff in the last couple of days because everybody's homeschooling and whatnot, and they are on the ball, I tell you. So, but it's also a lovely place. The fishing is great. Groton, Connecticut is lovely. There's just get off of 95, get on some of the back roads, and just drive around and find yourself the place to be. That's my best advice for Connecticut. But then don't forget that inland, Connecticut's quite a bit bigger than just the coast. There are some really cool places inland. We took Liam to
Dinosaur State Park, where you can actually see dinosaurs. Like they were wading through the water, so they're like little scratchy things in the mud. It's really kind of cool.
And different things, but there's a lot more to Connecticut than just the coast. But tons of history.
Mr. Blondie, I feel bad for the teetotalers. Hey, we have Saturday. We don't drink on Saturday mornings. We have that. But there's nothing wrong with teetotaler. That's totally fine. Not everyone drinks, and we're okay with that. And that's one thing I don't think you got.
My family doesn't drink.
Yeah, and I think one of the things is a lot of times, like in our videos, we'll talk about like beer and the wine and the alcohol and stuff like that. And a lot of people are like, "Oh, do you talk about that all the time?" Like, well, we're adults and we talk about adult things, and so we'll talk about that, and we'll tell what kids should do too. So we try to be there for everybody. And a lot of people think, well, is it really worth it to go to Germany because I don't drink beer? Yes, it's still worth it to go there. And I don't drink wine.
I don't drink beer.
Yeah, and so
ever.
Yeah, and so really ever like ever.
Beer makes me look like I'm pregnant, and also I don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, so let's get some other questions here. So we just had a
just had a massive jump
oh my
again.
God, we had a massive jump. Okay.
Wow, I'm really sorry, y'all.
Whoa, to another one.
No,
Leslie, we have not been to Singapore. Okay. We got the
But wasn't Jazz's family from Singapore? No.
No, Jazz's uncle was from Singapore.
His uncle, yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to go there with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yes, haha.
Oh, Rusty, my mom says hi. Let's see.
Oh, hey, Darian's here. Hello,
Darian, my buddy. So my buddy Darian, where is he at?
Germany Travel Personal Guide.
Yeah, so we've been talking, and he's a big fan of spaghetti ice, which is basically ice cream pressed through a press. It makes it look like spaghetti, and they put strawberry sauce on top. And so today we had something, and it made Liam remember of ice spaghetti. He's like, we need to have that. We need to go to Germany now and go have that again. I'm like, buddy, I wish we could. And so I had to tell my buddy Darian that Liam was all about the spaghetti ice today. So there is that. Bia McKelly, taking a shot of grappa is like getting hit by a car.
Don't shoot it, sip it.
Yeah, sip it. So if you ever have, grappa is like the local moonshine and like drink strong alcohol.
But it's made from grapes.
From grapes in Italy, and there's actually Bassano de Grappa, which is about an hour away from like Vicenza, a little bit more than an hour away from Venice, and that's where it's really like the place is from. They have this covered bridge, and the thing you do is you go there and you drink the grappa on the bridge. And I've done there a lot of times, Actually, my buddy whose wedding we were supposed to go to this summer, who's now been postponed. I've been to another wedding for someone else in that town. We actually went for a bachelor party there, and we had to go there and knock back a bunch of grappa. And yes, it is like getting hit by a truck, and then that truck is lit on fire in your mouth. So, yes.
Good night, Eric. I'm glad you got to hang out with us.
Thanks,
for a little
Eric,
while.
man. Be
Thank
good,
you.
buddy.
Tried to teach Mom about Wolters World and Professor Wolters.
I'm glad.
Michael,
Michael Mon, thank you very
dear.
much for the super chat, buddy. Thanks, Mark and Jocelyn, for bringing this community together. Really great way to distract us all from the reality show that is our lives these days. And
The reality
Isn't that
show. There's a different word I'd use instead of reality.
yeah,
And
but
it's called poo.
yes. But how the youngins call it these days? They don't call it poo no more. They call it something else.
They
but-
called it poo. From that movie. Which movie is that? I love that movie. What's wrong with me that I can't
That's
think of
in
that?
Billy Madison.
Yes.
So there's that.
Michael, thank you. And special shout out to Michael and to Mark and to Means to Travel.
and
Y'all who are
the moderators.
moderating this so that the scary, nasty people don't get through. We appreciate it because really we just want all of us to have a nice, easy night.
Yeah. Because we all got enough problems in our lives. We don't need to have any.
We don't need any negativity. And
Yeah.
these people moderate that for us. You can see how hard it is for us to keep track of all the people coming and going on this and talking.
Yeah.
But they're in there cleaning up the people and putting people in timeout who are being immature and
and sometimes you might get into a timeout, not realize why. It's because there's certain words that YouTube or we have set that people if they say that goes in there and you might not realize it. So don't feel bad if you're like, wait, Mark, we're friends and this. Don't worry. Sometimes it's just YouTube has their own little thing. Because then it's funny because sometimes we see these chats on the side like Natasha T. Thank you, Megan Morse, for your help.
And I know Megan's
I'm like, what was
always
going on? And Megan's helping. Like, I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened there, but Megan's always got some pretty smart questions and stuff. So my guess is that she's given you some good information there too.
Yeah. So somebody was asking me about their favorite places in Germany to go, and theirs was Hamburg, but I've lost it. Okay, so Christian L. wondering, what is the Walters' favorite German destination? I can tell you Jocelyn's Freiburg. Mine is Hamburg. They have a mood that is unlike anywhere else I've ever been. So I actually last time I was in Hamburg, I took students there, and they loved it. I've been to Hamburg quite a few times. There's a female that I knew back in the day that was from Bremen, and we would go.
There's none like me.
That's right. They're all just whatever.
I wonder if any of them ever see this.
No.
That would be funny.
No, they don't watch this. They don't have the internet. I don't know. Who knows?
They don't have the interwebs.
That one would never like, no. Yeah, I'm not one of those people like, you know what? I'm trying to think about whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. What's that weird liquor in Hungary? I was not a fan. I know exactly what you're talking about. Fiery Bull Blacks. I can't think of it off the top of my head there, but yeah, it's much.
Antonio, have you done a whiskey tour in Scotland? If so, any recommendations? Here's my recommendation: do one.
Yeah,
any of them will be good. They're always educational. We've done
even if you don't drink, I find that a lot of the beer tours and whiskey tours, the last 10 years, they have really changed from go get drunk to go there to actually learn a lot and have a few drinks. And if you don't drink, you learn that because they want to talk about how they've helped the community. They're talking about their sustainability. It's really a really educational experience to go, even if you don't drink. And some you don't even get to drink at. So.
Palinka. Larry
Palinka?
H says Palinka. Isn't that the drink in Hungary? No? What's Palinka?
Maybe. It could be. That sounds familiar. It's been.
Yeah.
I was drinking it last year at this time. Obviously, my brain.
You were in Hungary last year?
Yeah, I was there last year with Jeff.
Huh.
Took my students there.
See what you do without me?
Pine
5
days
things
away.
you need to know about Greece. Well, stop that. Dag nabbit.
Sorry. 5 things you know about Greece.
Where did it go?
I don't know. Well, I can answer.
There it is. Hang on. 1 to 5, you encounter anarchists and their hot girlfriends. That is not a lie.
So, anyway. Neil, the security, thank you very much for the super chat. Just popped up. Well, it popped up on ours, then I saw on the other one it disappeared. So, both of y'all have beautiful smiles. God bless y'all and everyone in this chat. Thanks,
Thank
Neil.
you,
That's
Neil.
really nice
That's
of you.
kind of you.
Cheers to you, my friend. We wish you all the
blessings
best.
to you.
Yes, blessings to you and your family. We know it's tough times for everybody, and we're just glad we can be a part of all of your. I mean, I know it's not travels now, but we can be a part of your nights.
This is for us. This is like having our friends over.
Mm-hmm.
Although usually when we have our friends over, we're hanging out in the kitchen, not in the living room.
Maybe that could be next week.
Maybe, because this feels stuffy. Anyway.
Yes, it does. It does feel a little stuffy here today. We'll have to go to the kitchen.
But this is what we do. We just sit and hang out and talk with our friends, and we do that at least once a week.
Mm-hmm.
But having you guys sitting here with us, and we watch this and we see you guys talking to each other, and that makes my heart very happy. I want to have. Oh, Rebecca and Antaeus, shush! There is no book yet. Mark wants there to be a book.
I've written a number of textbooks. I'm writing another textbook right now for social media marketing.
That's completely different than writing a book on travel with children. Completely different.
You're right. It's totally different. Ow! Dude, I didn't touch my brain!
That's 2!
God, you're disgusting. What the heck? Anyway, let's focus. Eric Pelkey, this channel has value to me in my opinion. Thanks, man.
Oh, thank you.
That's really nice of you. And I mean, that's one of those things, I don't think, for those of you that comment and stuff like that, I know we don't get a chance to read everybody's comments and stuff like that because they go by so fast and things like that, but it really does mean a lot when you all comment and stuff like that. When we go through our videos and our comments come up, we see people that were like, hey, I recognize that name and these kind of things. It really means a lot. It's like sometimes like, oh, it's Tosh T or Eric Pelkey. He's been commenting a lot on my Professor Wolters channel lately. He's like, man, I never studied marketing, but this is really interesting.
Yeah.
Thanks. It's like a really cool kind of thing. So thank you everybody for what you're doing.
Hang on, right? I want to say something else. Obano1, have you ever had any problems with jet lag when you've traveled around the world? Absolutely. The worst, I think, for our family was Japan. We went over the top of the globe, so it was a little bit shorter than it could have been if we had gone west.
It didn't matter. It was 12 hours.
Yeah, whatever. It's a big flight. But I found this wonderful homeopathic thing called Jet Zone, and they're like little tiny pills, and you take one before you get on your flight, and you just kind of take them throughout. You need to check. Oh, hang on. I gotta yell at Thomas in a minute. You need to read it and check with your doctor before you do anything like that. But I took that, and we got to Tokyo, and I was like raring to go. Everything was.
Oh yeah, she was
really
so nice.
good.
The boys and I were out of it.
I was fine. It was like normal. Like, I was very irritated because here I am in Tokyo, and they're all like snoring, sawing logs, and I'm like, dude, it's Tokyo.
Hey, my mom didn't want you to tell them about that green wine night. By the way, I just saw that comment.
Well, I didn't say everything.
Hey, Thomas Higgins.
Hey, Thomas Higgins. Ms. Pooh will get what this year? Yeah, you do kind of suck at the moment, no offense. But that's because, well, we're Georgia.
Oh, look, means to travel. Brian Boyd alluded to writing a book in a video posted this morning. Wasn't sure if that was an April Fool's joke or not. We don't know either. Means to travel. Anyway, hey, you can go check out Means to Travel on Instagram. They got some fun stuff on there.
They do have good stuff.
Let's see. Palinka. Yes, it was Palinka. Oh my, it's jumping around. See, you can see
the 5 P's of marketing.
What we're seeing pop up over here is different than yours because like the Palinka stuff was like 5-10 minutes ago.
Yay, Johanna! It is.
Yeah, well, the 5 P's Brian Boyd is the person thing. I like to integrate that.
Waleed, thank you. We love you too.
Aw,
that's sweet.
All right, hold on. Okay. We're going back to make sure
I need new Kindle reading. I don't know who said that, but it just caught my eye. So, there's a thing called BookBub that I use, and you should definitely check it out because you can choose different categories. What? You saw the Cretan thing?
No. Go.
So anyway, if you get BookBub, you can choose different genres that you like, and they will tell you free and cheap things as you in those categories. Mitchell Frankel?
Yeah, Frank, he's written before.
Have either of you traveled to a different country without the other that wasn't for business? Yeah, absolutely. All the time. Not all the time.
Yeah, we both try to do at least one guy trip or girl trip abroad.
But we always end up making Wolters World videos, so either way, it's always sort of business-ish related, right? But yeah.
So Rebecca Point likes to point out that Rebecca Point said, I said not to ask about the book. So Rebecca was trying not to have this. Larry H. I do also love that people from Crete are called Cretans. That always cracks me up.
And I have family that are Cretans. Rebecca also says you guys have great packing videos. So here's my question: if you could only save one item from your suitcase as it bursts into flames, what would you absolutely need to save?
And it's not like a passport. An extra pair of underwear.
I was actually going to say that too. Like, I have my favorite pair of travel underwear. Come on. Yep, underwear. That's what we're going to take. I mean,
we're getting to the basics because if you get stuck on a deserted island, you're like, wait a minute.
I want my underwear that I like.
You have to have this because if you get saved and your clothes are all ruined, you want to be like, look, hey, I got my hands on.
Woo!
There you go.
Not those nasty H&M things.
No. I like the H&M ones.
I know you do. I'm teasing you because it was the first thing that came to mind. Because I know.
Oh, that's nice, Mr. Blonde. I study business studies at GCSE. Your videos are really useful, Professor. Thanks, man. I try to help. And that's the thing is, those who know, I have my Professor Wolters channel. We do a lot of marketing, business video, and stuff like that. I try to help out and help people with that. So.
Hang on. Were both of you guys travelers / backpackers before you met? If so, who was the most experienced traveler back then? So, well, when we met when we were 16, I probably had a lot more experience than you did. You'd been
domestically
to Australia. I've been to Canada
too.
Oh, and I've been to Canada and Mexico, and well, I guess that's it. But
so we were tied then.
Except that you'd been to Ohio in the United States, and I'd been to like 40
I went to
states.
South Carolina once.
Oh,
twice.
Kathy, you're failing.
Hey, I brought him back.
No, Mark. But when Mark and I started dating, Mark had lived and worked abroad in like 10 or 12 countries at that point, to at least 10 countries.
We traveled a lot more.
So internationally, definitely Mark.
Hey,
domestically, Josh. It's me. I have a lot of that. So, yep. Okay.
So Natalie, what do you recommend in Israel? There's a lot there. I would say if you're going to go, there's different things you can do because you have Galilee in the north. You're going to spend a couple of days there seeing the Jesus sites and stuff like that. You've got Tel Aviv itself, which is such a new city, stuff to do, cafes all over.
Mid-century modern architecture, the yin yang.
Then Jerusalem, which is just its own other thing.
Everything.
Then you got the West Bank to check out. Then if you go down and you want to go into Jordan, you got to go down to the Red Sea. I mean, there's so many different things you want to see. Give yourself time there, okay? Though you can drive around. You can drive around on yourself. So there are all kinds of stuff.
We had found a really great guide, and he was...
No, we're not talking.
Okay, but he was very... But here's what I want to say about that. He was very kind, and there are... Well, he didn't refund us everything. Because
he didn't refund us anything.
Okay, but anyway.
Nothing.
But his planning stuff was very good.
His planning stuff was good.
His planning stuff was really good. So that's something important. Andrea said, I used to think my love of travel wasn't compatible with having kids, but you guys have completely changed my mind. Thank you so much for being so real. Well, you're welcome. And you know what? It's not always easy. I mean, there are days when we want to pull our hair out, but on those days...
But that's every parent.
Yeah, but you can do that at home.
That's like if you're on quarantine in your house.
So the thing is, our kids also want to pull their hair out. And part of what is great about traveling with kids is that because of them, you have to slow down. And they remind you to stop, whether they consciously remind you or not. They remind you to stop and smell the roses. And we will spend, last time we were in Paris, we went down to Parc Monceau. And we sat
did that 5 hours?
For hours.
Yeah.
We had a picnic. Mm-hmm. We hung out. We went to the grocery store and
we got kids crepes.
We just
played soccer.
Got a bag full of food and we sat and we ate and we just lived it. And you know what? Those are things
that really make you remember. That's what your kids, because your kids remember that when they're little. They don't remember the museums. They remember that time we were at that park. And our kids will tell us things like that. Remember when we played? I'm like, I'm like, picture, go back through my, get my hard drive out and figure these things out. So,
but you're having kids when you travel is so rewarding for you and for them. Our kids know they're average smart. They're not like the most brilliant children in the world. They're smart, but they're not off the charts. they're not stupid either, but they have an incredible grasp of people. They understand something beyond themselves, and that is nothing that we could ever have given them through anything but travel.
Yeah, so it's cool.
It is.
So other stuff. So Kenneth Steele, hey, you inspire me. I'm a photographer. I want to travel photographer. Never. Yeah, so I'm glad we can inspire there. And yes, I've had a Harvey Wallbanger. It's been a few years, so there's that. Joanna Miller, your guys' advice helped me with my solo trip to Europe last year, so thank you. I'm glad we could be a part of your trip. That's really cool. Natalie, thanks.
Hi,
I'm glad she
Dan.
loves watching the ball, watching the vlogs. And Dan in Tokyo, thank you. Bia McKelly, hey. Cheers! Welcome to the Helpful Traveler. Great to have you part of the members.
We will be having a members and patrons
feed
chat
this weekend.
week. Yeah.
No, it's gonna be Friday or Sunday, but we will have one of those so we can all chat together. And so, for those who don't know, the members and the patrons, we do a smaller one of these where we let them send in questions beforehand, so we can have, instead of us like trying to answer as many questions as possible, we're like focusing for 10 minutes on one topic and stuff like that. So always cool to have more people to be there. So thanks, Bia.
Gallivanting Gal says, Mark, I think wine may be the key to getting Jocelyn in more videos. Guess what? You're not wrong. There have been a couple free videos where we had dinner and then
she's like,
Brian
okay.
buzzed one, and I'm like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Michael is going to bed. Thank
All right,
you.
thanks,
Well, I don't know if
Michael.
he's going to bed, but he has to run. Maybe he's just going out for a run. Michael, thank you for
Minnesota
everything you
and
do.
April.
Yeah, well, maybe.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it, buddy. I'm
Thank
glad you
you.
saw the Minnesota love.
Tell
in our
Cindy
videos.
hello.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. We just had a big jump again. Dang it. It's doing it again.
All right. Babs, yes, traveling gives the kids experience. All right.
Okay, so Waleed is actually going to study his master's in the U.S. What's your advice, Mark? So my advice when you first get here, what happens to a lot of international students when they come to the U.S. is they hang out with people that are just from their home country and they don't get a chance to, and this isn't just like coming to the U.S., this is anywhere in the world. I see people, when they study abroad, they tend to like congregate with people from their own country. And so they only have like their own country experience in that country they go to. So make sure you make a point to meet other people, because the old saying is you never get a second chance to make a first impression is super true when it's like study abroad or doing a master's abroad with the country. Because people are like, hey, you want to grab a drink, or maybe, hey, you want to have dinner, you want to go do something. If you say no the first time, you have to, even if you're tired, like jet lag's killing me. No, you got to go out, because that's how you meet people. Because I've seen too many people that like put it off, and then like their third week, they're like, you know what? I want to meet people now. And they're like, it's too late now, because all those people that said hi before,
They're not going to say hi again. Yeah, that's the hard thing. And that's for everywhere. It doesn't matter if you're coming to the US or somewhere else. That's for absolutely everywhere. Yeah. There was just another jump, and there was something I wanted, and I think it was lower, but I don't know where the jump went.
So, Antias, any blooper videos? So if you search Wolters World outtakes or Wolters World, I think it's all Wolters World outtakes. We have a couple that are out there, not too many. Because I didn't really think about cutting and saving those things when I was doing it. There's like a couple. There's one I have of just Caleb attacking me when he was little. When I would try to film, and he'd just like climb on me and stuff.
There's that one with the bat in the cave in Paris.
Oh yeah, there's one we had.
The bells kept ringing every time we tried to do.
Oh god, I think I have one just on bells in Copenhagen, because like every time I tried to film in Copenhagen. I mean, the video is like 5 minutes long, but it took me an hour because the damn bells were just going and going and going.
Oh, the Jane Austen Festival and the tea room next to her house. Yes, there is a tea room next to her house. We were in Bath a couple years ago. Actually, this bracelet I bought at the Jane Austen House Museum. And it has, you know that bit in Pride and Prejudice when Mr. Darcy confesses his love? It's all written very small on this. And this is like one of my favorite pieces of jewelry ever. I might actually get myself a second one just in case I ruin this one, because I'll wear it that much.
She wears it all the time.
I wear it constantly.
So Ryan Flanagan, I don't know where you're an employee at, so I don't know what we were talking about here.
Eric, I don't like polyester either. I think it smells bad.
Well, it doesn't smell bad. It makes you smell bad because it
holds any odors. It's hard to get them out, especially.
I'm gonna be honest. Polyester or any of those like special fabric kind of things are great when you're flying, because they help you breathe down there when you're flying. But the thing is when you're not flying, you're out of those things. They do hold in this smell. You're like, I didn't know. I mean, that's a little too real, but it's one of those things. Like I have underwear that actually fly in, but I do not.
You don't wear them any other.
I don't wear them any other
except
times,
for that.
except for that because of that. So.
Yep.
Let's see.
I love that you guys are calling each other friends.
Yeah, this is awesome.
And you guys are paying attention to each other.
This is the best part of doing this. If we get the chance to get people to have somebody to talk
Hang out with friends.
Because you get a chance to do this, and it's really special. So that's really great.
Yep. Very cool.
All right, let's see. Well, we had another jump. We got another jump. Okay. Stop jumping.
Stop it.
It's not your fault. Just remember, your feet here is nicely going by ish. Ours is like here, then there, then there.
Well, and we have to stop it for a second every now and then so we can actually read things, and then all of a sudden it'll just pop and we don't even know. Bab says, "Have you ever gone to a music festival while traveling?"
Yes, I've been to quite a few.
Have I?
I don't know if you. I don't know if you have. You had a whole life before me. I don't remember anything before.
Oh, I did, and I enjoyed it. He acts like his life was nothing before me, but I'm like, oh yeah, I had a great life. I loved it. I love my life now.
I see. My life is so much better with you in it that I don't remember anything else.
But that doesn't mean that before wasn't great.
That I had an amazing mom and dad who were fantastic.
They are pretty awesome.
My
people.
aunt and my uncle were amazing. My cousins. Yep.
Gallivanting girls, merino wool. Yes, merino wool, but not for underwear.
I don't.
No, so I am
maybe,
a big fan.
Maybe women are different than men. I don't know, but I would not go with wool down there.
We don't need any of that down there. But
you guys are model couple. I'm glad.
Model crazy.
Well, I think one of the things you have to realize is if you're going to survive a marriage, you got to give and take, and you got to laugh, and you know what? And sometimes you got to give space, and so
I was actually thinking about that today when we were playing basketball, and I was really irritated with you, and like I was mad at you for a minute, and I didn't block the dog. You. No, it was because I let the dog come out, and you got mad.
Yeah, because the dog ran after somebody.
But he ran because he wanted to play. He wasn't being mean. And that guy could see that. It wasn't like a little kid. Anyway, and I'm like, I was thinking about that. Like how that was just not, it's just not a thing in our world. Like we don't really, like it was mad for a second.
But also, I think...
And then we'll laugh about it later. And if you can't laugh about it, then you're just not going to make it.
That's one thing, because we've also thought about doing another channel about other stuff that's not travel or business. This is one of the things we talk about, because what you have to realize is in a relationship, you're on the same team. Like it's not a win-lose. We win together, we lose together. It's not like, I win, you lose. You don't want that. You have to think more the longer term. We're on the same team. We're working together. Sometimes teams, they don't always get along. You'll see players that'll yell at their coaches. Their coaches yell at their players. But they're still trying to win the game.
Okay.
And that's okay.
As long as you, in the end, you're always on the same team. You can't do that. Paul's going to bed. Good night.
Night, Paul.
It's 4 a.m. Oh, sugar.
Well, at least he doesn't have to get up and dress for work.
Popeyes is excellent. Absolutely.
Oh, I miss me some Popeyes.
You know, I wonder if they have the drive-thru open.
I think they do. Maybe we can go grab some.
Maybe.
Surprise the kids. No, because it'll be like every day.
Oh, you know what else I want?
Yes.
Chick-freaking-fil-A. Chick-fil-A, no bun plus cheese. And
they always mess it up, so I hate having to go back.
Only in this town.
Yeah, I know, in this town. So we're not going to order the special. You're just going to take the bun off.
No, because then the cheese sticks to the bun.
Just take it.
3 times.
You're disgusting. Why are you doing that?
Because I can.
Let's see.
Mississippi. Mississippi is a lovely state.
So Natchez, Mississippi is fantastic. If you want to see some of the like townhomes and the plantation owners, because that's where they kind of had a home on the river where they built these incredible houses you can check out. It's really gorgeous there.
It is a lovely. They have really good highways.
Yes, because they don't have free stall. It's nice. But honestly, like for Mississippi, Natchez is the one place you really got to go. And if you're in New Orleans, it's a little bit of a drive, but it's relatively close. I think by American standards, it's doable. So there's that. So just trying to help. Has your opinion changed about cruise travel? I'm not a cruiser. We're
not cruise people. We've done it. It's not our thing.
I'm sure we'll do it again, but it's just I don't like I like to be more free. and decide what we want to do. So for me, it's a little bit tough, but I'm sure we'll do something again.
As we sit here in our house
Yes.
on day 19.
Yes, beggars can't be choosers. You know what? I would totally go cruise. Well, no, I wouldn't go cruising right now. God, that's what's really horrible. There's a lot of cruise ships that are not able to find a port to just dock to get people home.
Yeah, it's bad.
So,
Gus, what state would you recommend for international student? It depends on what you want. If you want like a quintessential American experience, I would choose something like Middle America, like Illinois, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota.
Big Ten.
But yeah, kind of a Big Ten.
Big Ten or SEC.
Or no, I don't even know that I would recommend SEC. I was thinking like Oklahoma. Like if you go with the middle of the country, you're going to get something that's very, very American. On the outskirts, the SEC, the Southeastern Conference, is going to be Southern, and so it's American as they get, but it's got its own sort of thing. And then if you go to a big city,
thanks, Deborah,
you're going to get a different kind of experience there. And then West Coast, they're their own thing. America's very regional, so you need to look at what you want to see. But if you want like kind of the everyday Joe, I would say the middle of the country.
Yeah, and the thing is,
Texas counts for that too.
A lot of people, when they go study abroad, I always tell them, like, what do you want to get out of it?
Arizona, New Mexico also, sorry.
If you're looking to study abroad, it really depends what you want to get out of it. Because, like, for example, if you're going to want to, like, I studied in Argentina when I was in school. And so when I went to Argentina, I didn't want to go to Buenos Aires because I knew in a big city, international, you're going to have a better chance you're going to have to speak English and stuff like that. You're not going to learn about the real culture. So I wanted to go to another place, but unfortunately no one else wanted to go. So I ended up back in Buenos Aires. And so you can have a much more like, what is it really like there? Because going to London is like going to New York. It's an international city, right? But if you want to feel what it's like, you're better off going to New York or going to Bath or something like that to study abroad to get a more like English feel. And so that's why sometimes it's better not to go to like University of Chicago or NYU or something like that, or Central Florida, which is in Orlando. You go to these places that are a little bit, in the college town to have that like, my God, I had the college experience. And one of the things you'll see is if you have that college experience as you study abroad, when you meet Americans abroad or you meet Americans for work, you're like, I can talk about that semester I went to the Saturdays in Alabama or Georgia or Illinois or whatever and watching football and stuff like that.
Hang on. Visit Travelers Rest Plantation in Natchez. Meet Steve and Wendell. I'm writing that down.
Okay.
Steve and Wendell.
All right.
At
George Beasold. Mark, you look like a man who'd wear a kilt. Is my assumption correct? If I was in Scotland and it was a family event, we would use one of our family's plaids. So it could happen. I would not wear it really like in the US or something like that because, I tell a lot of people don't buy kilts when you go to Scotland because it can be really expensive and you're never going to wear it. It's going to be an expensive like kind of tourist trap thing unless your family is Scottish. My family is Scottish and we actually have quite a few relatives there. So yeah, you could probably see me doing that.
Rebecca says, I love how there's an amazing underwear conversation going on in the middle of this.
Yes, hey, that's how we roll here. That's how we roll.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, let's see.
Jose likes Chick-fil-A burrito.
Never even heard of
for
it.
breakfast.
Sacrilegious.
All right.
Gallivanting Gals. Yeah, we don't love cruises, but would do a river cruise at some point. So I actually did a coastal cruise a few years ago with a French company. And I did like that better because I just don't like to be on the big, huge ships. I like to be on the smaller ones. If you're on a riverboat cruise, it's a much smaller boat. And also, you're in the city, so you get a chance to go out and explore the city during the night.
Bit more.
You get to see a bit more and have more experience versus, hey, we're dropping you off at 8 in the morning. You got to be back by 4, otherwise we're leaving you behind. The riverboat ones have a little better.
Hold still, don't touch anything. Okay, 1, Heather. Silk underwear is great up here in the frozen north. We even have silk long johns, very warm, really. Heather, I agree. I have at least 2 or 3 pairs of silk long underwear, and I mean, I spent my summers and some winters in northern Minnesota, and my Canadian aunt, as she would say, got us all started on that, and I have tried to get everyone I know to buy silk long underwear because they're amazing. silk is great all year. I actually buy. I know it's more expensive, but if you get decent quality stuff, and you can actually get it at TJ Maxx pretty cheap, it'll last forever, and it's great for everything. Yeah.
So Means to Travel likes to point out, I took photos of sheep waiting on the train platform with me in
Yes,
Wales.
you did.
Nowhere in the U.S. can compare. You're right. Nothing compared to that. Except
No.
And the jokes that will go along with that. If you have a picture of that and somebody from England or Scotland sees that and you're like, me in Wales.
That's it.
Like, I can't even go to the jokes there that the people would say because, we'd get banned from YouTube. So.
We've not yet been to Maldives, but it's on the list.
And the thing is, Maldives actually was very popular for a lot of my friends in Portugal. When they got married, they did Maldives for their honeymoons, and they loved it. So I've seen so many pictures. It looks so gorgeous there, but I've never been.
Hortons.
Yeah, but Timmy's is not as good as it used to be, apparently. But I still love my Tim Hortons. If Tim Hortons had their own poutine, I think that would just be like the world would explode because it could be that amazing. Anyway, let's see. Oh, we jumped around again. Dang it!
And I think we actually went up that time. Hang on.
Namrata has a question, but didn't post.
Gui's on here. Hola, boa noite.
He's been all over the place.
I haven't seen it.
He was on my live feed the other day when I was teaching my class. Yes, I guess it was yesterday.
Gui says, after 2 hours of drinking whiskey or wine, I'd be attacking food right now. Are you just behaving in front of the cameras? No, I won't eat until tomorrow about noon, probably. I'm done drinking, and I won't have any more until about noon tomorrow. No, don't pour anymore. The lid's on that for a reason. I'm not drinking anymore. Please stop that.
It's not for you.
Oh, it's for you?
Yes,
good, because you need that.
Because nothing beats whiskey.
Namrata, I think I'm saying that right. I have a question.
I know, I already read
But where'd the question go?
I know, it's not. I don't know, because we jumped around, sorry.
Babs agrees with me because Babs is brilliant. Silk is warm and cool. I'm telling you guys, it's the greatest fabric.
So Lori Sims, I think this is a good thing to point out. So Lori Sims says, I thought about doing a river cruise, but the supplement for being a single is too high.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, what you might not realize, if you want to travel on your own on a cruise, is a lot of times they want you to pay for a double room, and they're expecting, like, when you see a price for a cruise, a lot of times it's like one person in a double occupancy place. And the thing is if you're only one person, you still need to cover that other charge, and it becomes insanely expensive.
It literally doubles the cost.
But this is one thing that I think is changed a lot in cruises, because a lot of millennials are waiting later to get married and waiting later to pair up or whatever. So they're actually starting to have more cruises that actually have like single person like rooms and stuff like that you don't have the extra stuff. My buddy Gary Bembridge, he has a Twitter feed and a YouTube channel that really focuses on cruise tips. Look up Gary Cruise Trips, and he'll pop up. That's not his channel, but it'll pop up. And he's a bald guy, nice guy. He does cruises like, I don't know, 400 days a year.
A lot.
He does a lot. I mean,
there aren't 400 days in a year.
Yeah, but he cruises that much. He's crazy. It was a joke because that's how much he cruises. And he's done everything, and cruise companies have him come for their openings and stuff like that. So I would go there to check out the stuff because he's the man.
And Lori, as one of our members and patrons, we'll talk about this more in our live feed, but maybe you could like pair up with somebody in this group. Maybe, I know that might sound a little bit crazy, but maybe that will happen. So we'll see.
So Brian Boyd points out that Tim Hortons in Minnesota freaking sucks. Yeah, and here's what's crazy
is it's not Canada.
It's not Canada, and Tim Hortons has fallen a bit. But what's interesting is that A&W is a root beer in the U.S., but they also have a hamburger store or hamburger restaurant. But they suck in the U.S., but in Canada, they're phenomenal. So it's really interesting how things kind of change other places.
Braden says, if you haven't had Bojangles.
Oh, I love my Bojangles. Best. Oh, my God. Like, we fly through Atlanta. If we've got more than 45 minutes, my butt is going to Terminal T, and we're getting ourselves some Bojangles.
And I'm going to D, and I'm going to have me some chicken and beer. Yep. Yeah. Tucson, Arizona has 360 days of sunshine. Yes, dear, they do.
And my buddy, Michael Fricky, he's now a professor down there. Lucky guy.
I grew up down there. 2751 Placita Hacienda. It now is a little scary.
It's
not quite where I grew up, but anyway.
All right. So let's get to a travel question here. Nader
Whoa,
one. Oh,
Burger King bought Tim Hortons.
yeah, like
I
years
didn't know
ago.
that.
Yeah,
Shut the front door.
Follow the news, woman.
I don't, because the news is usually
Anyway.
things that make me sad.
Anyway, Nader one. Top. Let's get back to travel instead of this crazy off-topic stuff. Nader one. Top travel destinations for nature lovers. Not a fan of freezing. Okay, well, if you go in the summer, that gives you options. Because I was thinking like Canada is great for nature, but you want to make sure you're going in the summer. Like Banff is great and stuff like that. I think for nature in general, South America, Central America, or in the U.S., like basically the whole Western Hemisphere is much more of a outdoors nature destination kind of stuff. Or going to Africa if you want to go that way. You get a lot of great nature. You don't have a lot of people and
Africa's
stuff like
incredible.
that. It is just incredible. So things I kind of recommend.
Not a fan of freezing, but not freezing, but chilly in the summer. Not cold, but crisp. Iceland. Like Iceland's got incredible amounts of nature, and it's
Yeah.
completely different than anywhere else in the world.
Yeah, Diana Schneeberry, thanks for this one. Started my travels as a upper middle-aged woman, I would say 20s, okay, who shouldn't wait to travel any longer, couldn't wait to travel any longer. In 2019, did Seine and Rhine and learned so much. Talk doesn't charge supplements, but has a few single rooms.
Oh,
That's the
good to
thing
know.
is, and that's when if you look, you can find out places that actually do have no extra supplement stuff. So that's good to know. Thank
and
you
maybe
for sharing that.
Diana and Lori, you guys are both part of the clan, so maybe you guys can talk later this week when we have our thing.
Yeah. Okay, so Brian Boyd was talking about monsoon season is the worst. This is one of the things that a lot of people are asking us, hey, why don't you travel to this place? And they're like, well, the only time we can go is during this time of the year, and that's monsoon season. Like, we were looking at Southeast Asia, but we can go only like late May, early June, like June, and like that's when it's rainy season, and you don't want to go at those times. And that's one of the things you really have to look at is when you're wanting to go someplace, make sure you can find a time when the weather is going to be the best for you and the best to enjoy. Because we knew people that went to the Philippines during rainy season. They're like, oh, it was the worst time I ever had. I'm like, well,
What a waste of time and money.
like, yeah, like don't waste your money going there during rainy season. Like go at these other times. And so there's that. So Bia wants to know is when you guys go to New Zealand, which part are you coming to? Which part would you like us to go to?
Well,
Boom.
I want to get a big chunk if I can.
Yeah.
Everett says I had to cancel a trip to Italy in May. Where would be a good place to go in August that's not too crowded? I was thinking Argentina. What do you think?
You go ahead.
Okay, so Argentina in August, not bad. Weather's still
winter.
pretty, but it's not bad. It's
No.
not like it's not miserable.
No,
You're
it's
getting
fine.
to the end. It's not awful. If it were me, I would go a little further north than Argentina, just weather-wise. That's me.
Yeah, Colombia's nice and stuff.
Colombia, Peru, not Peru.
Yeah, no, you'd be
With the
fine.
elevation, it might be pretty chilly in some places.
Yeah,
Ecuador,
but there it's like more like dry season, wet season.
Yeah.
So it's like December, February.
right? And then also like the northern part of Brazil, which a lot of people don't really spend a lot of time in. Really great small towns and stuff. Look up some of our Brazil videos, and you'll find a lot of really good things there.
I like Mr. Blonde. You haven't experienced Pakistani or Indian monsoons. Yeah, that's another thing that's influenced our decision when we're going to go to India is like, when can we not
Yeah.
get the monsoon seasons and not melt? Because my buddy Dewey, I was talking about, because I had an opportunity to go with my buddy Jeff, I was telling you about before. And I was talking to Dewey, what about this time? He's like, dude, don't. You're going to die. It's
Just
like 105 degrees at night. Like, just don't. I'm like, all right. Thanks.
Oh,
man.
and the monsoons in Tucson were bad. I remember I wasn't allowed to go out. We all played in the washes. And there are these like big sort of cavernous things built all over the city to catch all the runoff. And we played in them all the time as kids. But then the minute it was anywhere near monsoon season, our parents were like, no, not happening. Yep. What is
I know
that?
it's jumping around again.
Hang on.
Morning, Rebecca.
Marques de Riscal, a wonderful red wine from Spain for Jocelyn. Thanks for all you do. Good night. Good night. Have a lovely evening. I know it's really late there if you're in Spain.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Oh, Eric, has anyone read a drugstore romance novel? So my grandma's second husband, he was all about those.
Oh, that's right.
So my grandma had a farm,
They're
and so they had
family
these little
stories.
barns, and so they had this little like shed, and he had like a wall of those like drugstore romance novels. I still remember that. It wasn't Leland, it was Harold. Oh man, good times. Anyway, okay, so we've been on for 2 hours and 15 minutes now. We gotta get to bed soon, so
What
let's answer
country
some
would
questions.
you recommend starting with if someone has not been? This is for you, Laura. If I've never been to Central or South America. Okay, so Costa Rica, because they're set up for travel in every possible way.
Peru, because it's also
Peru,
really good.
Secondly.
For the tourism infrastructure is really good. Probably Ecuador would be third.
Ecuador has some of the best guides that I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, I think those are 1, 2, 3. I think that's enough to get you started.
Yeah, so there is that. So Mike in Sweden at 5 a.m. Greetings from work. The drunk tank. It's like house arrest going to work. I know. I hear you. Anyway.
Tosh says, Mark, your
Oh my God, Tosh!
Yes, Tosh.
Buddy!
Our
We missed
buddy.
you, man.
Your mother wants you to talk about the cultural differences between Scotland and Ireland.
All right, we will finish with that because it's Tosh. Not because it's my mom, but because it's Tosh. And someone else had asked that too. So,
Your
if you
mom.
look at... Yes, there was another person that did too. Stop.
I didn't
You
do
just don't...
the wet willy.
Anyway, so when you're looking to go to Scotland and Ireland, a lot of people actually kind of like, should I go one or the other? So there is quite a bit of difference between the two, and you'll notice that not just in the accent, but in terms of what you see, your experience when you're there. Like Ireland is much more of a we are Irish, we're together, and they love having tourists there, and they love hanging out with the tourists and talking to the tourists. But it's more like we're still Irish, and you're a tourist, so we'll let you join us. But in Scotland, it feels like it's more like, hey, we want you to be with us, and we're Scottish, and so they seem to be a little bit more welcoming. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Irish are super welcoming, but I feel the Scottish are more welcoming up front. I will also say, as a tourist, though, Ireland is probably a better place to go if you're a new tourist because the infrastructure there is so well, and even driving around and stuff like that is kind of put together, whereas Scotland's a little bit more remote in terms of what you're going to be doing.
And I think that's why the Irish are more like, we're Irish and we'll pull you in, and the Scots are like, we'll pull you in and we're Scottish. Because Ireland is inundated, especially with Americans. So that's something that we'll see as tourists. That's what you'll see first off between the two.
Excuse me. So Thomas was asking Seville or Sicily. I do Sevilla. Go to Sevilla, especially if it's like you don't have a lot of time because there's a lot of stuff you can do around there too. Excuse me. Anyway, excuse me. All right, I think it's time.
Okay.
Time for us to head out, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for sticking with us tonight for our 2 hours and 20-minute long live feed. It's great doing these things on Wednesdays. We try to stay on for a couple hours. On Saturday, we'll be back with another live feed at 9 a.m. Central Time or Chicago time if you're looking on your phones and stuff like that. We'll be on there for a couple hours. And then after that, at noon, we'll have a new video released. So we'll have that as a premiere so we can chat live as it comes out. So we'll have some stuff there. So we'll have a good time. So
members and patrons, we are going to do something later this week. We just need to discuss it a little bit. And we'll be on
schedules.
And our schedules. And happy birthday to Terry Finley.
Yes.
And thank you to all of you guys. Means to Travel, Mark,
Mrs. Means to Travel,
Michael, of you guys who are moderating for us. Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Hugs
Wish you all the
from Illinois.
best. Everybody stay safe, stay home. Watch our video of the don'ts of quarantine. Please share it so more people get some like good information that's not stuff that people found on Facebook. It's actual real stuff from the CDC, but also in a fun way so people know. But we wish you all the best. Bye, Carmen. Bye, Rebecca.
Bye, Babs.
Bye, Peter. Oh, Peter,
Bye.
you on here? All right.
All right.
See y'all later.
Good night,
Bye,
everybody.
everybody.